Chapter 617. When Venerable Yulong and the others returned to the mine, they lost a golden core stage cultivator in their first fight. Venerable Yulong and Venerable Flying Feather didn't say anything, but Venerable Yen Yang couldn't hold back his anger. He pointed at Luo Jiuyo's nose and cursed, "Why did the Netherworld sect choose such a trash as their sect master? In the Three River Market, you were beaten like a stray dog by the Zhao family. This time, I took care of you and didn't let you deal with the Zhao family. You didn't even have the power to resist against a junior from the Wang family. If it wasn't for Venerable Yulong's help, you would have been killed by the Wang family. In the first fight, you lost a high-grade Tier 4 refined corpse. How much wealth does the Netherworld sect have to endure such a waste?" Zhong Zhenyang and Luo Jiuyu had nothing to say. Their sect's inheritor was restrained by someone else. It would be shameful if word got out. However, Venerable Yulong came out to smooth things over. "There's nothing we can do about it. Who would have thought that the Wang family's inheritor would be so restrained by the Netherworld sect? In the next fight, Dao Yu Luo should deal with Gu Qingfeng. He's an Earth attribute body refinement cultivator and has no restraining effect on the Netherworld sect's inheritor. Dao Yu Yen Yang will deal with the Wang family's kid. You're a body refinement cultivator, so you shouldn't be so afraid of the Golden Crow's flames." Both of them nodded their heads in agreement. Venerable Yulong asked again, "Dao Yu Zhong, do you feel that the Wang family's kid's technique is abnormally strong? When I sent a dragon's shadow over, I felt that his black water prison was a bit too strong. It's not just the black tortoise's charm. It seems to have a hint of law." Luo Jiuyo also nodded. "It's a bit like that. When he dealt with Gu Qingfeng a few years ago, the water prison was much weaker than it is now. To be able to increase the water prison's strength so much in such a short time and have a hint of law, he should have a minor divine ability." Venerable Yen Yang was gloating before, but now his expression turned serious. If that's the case, his strength should be stronger than what he showed. His current strength isn't much weaker than mine. If his minor divine ability is more powerful, his strength might surpass mine. For the time being, only Dao Yu Yulong and Dao Yu Zhong can beat him. Xian Ming Dao Yu needed to be near the rank 4 water spirit vein in order to defeat him. The palace master of the Savage Sun Palace needs to recover before he can defeat him. While the three sects were in a gloomy mood, the Origin returning mountain was full of joy. Everyone was in a dilapidated hall on Mount Guiyuan. Gu Qingfeng cupped his hands and said, "The younger generation will surpass us in time. A few years ago, I was still slightly superior to the Duke. Now, I should be far inferior to the Duke." Zhao Jinghua could tell that his spell contained obvious power of law, but he did not point it out. He only asked, "If your highness goes all out, how is your strength compared to Ling Jiang and Ling Tian?" Wang Daoyuan replied, "About the same as Marquis Ling Jiang, but not as good as the sixth prince." Zhao Jinghua nodded and said, "If you include the Golden Crow bloodline, their power should not be too far from Ling Tian's. With such strength, he could be considered a top expert among the late Golden Core stage cultivators. It might not be enough to deal with Venerable Yulong, but it was not a problem to deal with Venerable Xianming. With the Golden Crow bloodline restraining the Underworld sect's inheritance, Zhong Zhenyang should not be a match for you if he does not use a small ability." Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "Let's not talk about strength." This time, the Myriad Spirit sect sent Venerable Yulong over. It seems that they attach great importance to the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine. We won't have much success in a short time. Let's inform His Majesty and have the Myriad Rivers Market attack the Myriad Spirit sect's important industry. If the Myriad Spirit sect dares to send out Golden Core cultivators, His Majesty can take the opportunity to kill a few. If they don't send out Golden Core cultivators, then we'll take down the important industry and let the Myriad Spirit sect suffer in silence." Zhao Jinghua nodded and then sent a message to Emperor Zhao, reporting the situation here and Wang Daoyuan's suggestion. Emperor Zhao's reaction was also very fast. The next day after receiving the news, he personally led the army. He brought Shi Zhizhong, Wu Mingjue, and Zhao Jingbang, who had just returned from Song, to attack a medium-sized spirit stone mine in the south of Linchuan County. This spirit stone mine was in the center of Linchuan County and stretched for more than 100 miles. Usually, it could excavate 400,000 to 500,000 spirit stones every year, and occasionally a few high-grade spirit stones. Now that it was wartime, it wouldn't be a problem to send more manpower and produce 1,000,000 spirit stones a year. Even though the Myriad Spirit sect was a large sect, losing this industry would be a huge loss. The three sects had been fighting on two fronts for many years and their reserves were almost exhausted. Other resources were still fine, but spirit stones were the most indispensable. Regardless of whether it was formations, warships, flying boats, or cultivators recovering their spiritual power, they were all inseparable from spirit stones. If they gave up this spirit stone mine, the benefits would fall into the hands of the Zhao clan, which was simply helping the enemy. The Myriad Spirit sect could only brace themselves. Daoist Master Profound Ming brought 3 late-stage golden core cultivators to the spirit stone mine. There was no large river nearby, so Daoist Master Profound Ming's Darkwater Black Turtle couldn't display too much strength. Emperor Zhao also had the Mountain River seal in hand, so they didn't dare to face him head-on and just hid inside the defensive formation. The grade of the spirit veins in the vicinity of the spirit stone mine wasn't high, so they could only use formation plates to lay down the formation. Emperor Zhao and the other 3 golden core cultivators attacked the formation from time to time, causing damage to the formation plates several times. Daoist Master Profound Ming had no choice but to take the golden core cultivators to resist for a while, giving the formation masters time to replace the formation plates. However, the price they paid was not small. The Darkwater Black Turtle was injured by Emperor Zhao. If this continued, the Darkwater Black Turtle wouldn't be able to hold on. Emperor Zhao tossed and turned for half a month, and the cultivators in the mysterious 9 underworld crystal mine began to change. The Savage Sun Palace and the Myriad Spirit sect each sent a late-stage golden core cultivator, and then Daoist Master Yulong left the place and headed south. It seemed that the Myriad Spirit sect was really anxious, sending 2 late-stage golden core cultivators to replace Daoist Master Yulong. Zhao Jingguo was a peak golden core expert, and one more person couldn't withstand him. Emperor Zhao sent a message that Daoist Master Yulong had appeared in Linchuan County, so Wang Daoyuan took the 4 golden core cultivators and attacked again. The 6th prince and Zhong Zhenyang were really eyeing each other, and they exchanged blows on the side. The 2 newly arrived Jindan stage cultivators had also shown their faces in the 3 River Market. The cultivator from the Savage Sun Palace was called Xian Yang, and he was able to exchange blows with Zhao Lingjiang. The cultivator from the Myriad Spirit sect was called Jin Shan, and his strength was relatively weak. Even with his golden eagle spirit bird, his strength was about the same as Lin Hai King. The 2 of them were still a bit strenuous to deal with Zhao Jinghua. Of course, the 3 sects didn't expect to win, and they only hoped to barely hold on. As soon as the 2 sides met, Daoist Master Yan Yang of the Savage Sun Palace attacked Wang Daoyuan. How could Wang Daoyuan not see through their thoughts? He directly turned into a vermilion bird with a wingspan of more than 10 feet, dodged Daoist Master Yan Yang's attack, and continued to attack Luo Jioyo. Gu Qingfeng took the opportunity to entangle Daoist Master Yan Yang. When Luo Jioyo saw Wang Daoyuan flying over, he immediately turned into black smoke and fled. The scarlet-feathered crow turned into a sun and chased after him. The black smoke turned into nothingness 100 feet away from the scarlet-feathered crow. As soon as he showed his head, Wang Daoyuan used the black tortoise purgatory. Although Luo Jioyo's escape technique wasn't fast, it was very flexible, and he managed to dodge the black tortoise purgatory several times. Jin Shan and Xian Yang were suppressed by Zhao Jinghua, and Daoist Flying Feather could barely entangle Zhao Lingjiang. Zhong Zhenyang pretended not to see Luo Jioyo, and Daoist Master Yan Yang's escape technique couldn't keep up with the 2, and he was also entangled by Gu Qingfeng, so he couldn't free himself. Luo Jioyo was lingering on the edge of death. After the scarlet-feathered crow used the Ardent Sun Minor Divine ability, his speed increased greatly, and he was faster than a peak golden core cultivator. Luo Jioyo's speed was simply incomparable. He was soon intercepted by the scarlet-feathered crow, and when he changed direction, he was trapped by the black tortoise purgatory. Wang Daoyuan shrank the black tortoise purgatory, and at the same time, took out the white tiger blade, and used the sword shadow divine light technique. 10 sword shadows passed through the water curtain and entered the black tortoise purgatory, giving Luo Jiuyo some strength. At first, Luo Jiuyo wanted to use spells to defeat the sword shadows, but dealing with 10 sword shadows at the same time was easier said than done. Soon, several wounds appeared on his body. If not for the soft armor protecting his body, he would have been seriously injured. In desperation, he could only raise a spiritual energy barrier to block the sword shadows. Even so, he could only hold on for a dozen breaths. When the black tortoise purgatory shrank to its limit, he would die without a doubt. At this moment, a golden figure flew out from the mine's defensive formation, and pounced on Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan immediately used the smoke escape, and dodged the golden figure's attack. The scarlet-feathered crow also quickly retreated, and came to Wang Daoyuan's side. The golden figure waved his hand and shattered the black tortoise purgatory, and the 10 sword shadows slashed on his body, but he was unharmed. Wang Daoyuan used his spiritual sense to probe, and found that there was no trace of life on his body. Instead, there was an extremely strong corpse and death aura. At this moment, Wang Daoyuan knew what the guy in front of him was. It was a metal elite corpse. Chapter 618. In the past, when Wang Daoyuan was at the Violet Palace realm, he encountered the silver-armored corpse in the divine infernal gold mine in the blood demon city of the southern wastelands. Although the silver-armored corpse's body was strong, making it difficult for cultivators of the same level to break through its defenses, it still had a weakness. The body of the metal-armored corpse no longer had any weaknesses. Cultivators of the same level could not injure it at all. Although the Gui Water Divine Lightning of the Zhao family cultivators, Wang Daoyuan's True Fire of Scarlet Yang, and Scarlet Feather's True Fire of Scarlet Feather and Scarlet Feather could wear down the corpse chi and death chi on the refined corpses, the metal-armored corpse was different from the metal-armored corpse. No matter how high the grade of the metal-armored corpse was, the corpse chi and death chi on the regular corpse would not be too much. They could be easily dealt with using lightning, fire, and other magical attacks. However, metal-armored corpses were different. Refining metal-armored corpses required special corpses. The spiritual bodies or battle bodies of humans could only be refined by demonic beasts that had similar constitutions. These special constitutions could carry more energy, which meant they could store more corpse chi and death chi in their bodies. Special corpses had to be placed in places with dense yin chi and death chi. Secret techniques would be used to lock the yin chi they absorbed into their bodies. Some methods of refining corpses even required medicinal baths. Serving a refined corpse was even more tiring than serving a lord. These refined corpses could become iron-armored corpses in a few decades, silver-armored corpses in a few centuries, and metal-armored corpses in a few millennia. Of course, the level of the secret technique and the amount of resources would affect the time required to refine a metal-armored corpse. However, it would take at least 1,000 years to refine a metal-armored corpse. It could be said that every part of the body of the metal-armored corpse was filled with a tremendous amount of corpse chi and death chi. The corpse chi and death chi of the refined corpse that Wang Daoyuan had burned to death was not even as much as a single finger of the metal-armored corpse. The toughness of the refined corpse's body was supported by these two factors. Without completely exhausting them, it would be impossible to break through the refined corpse's body. The metal-armored corpse was only at the beginning of the high grade of the 4th rank, but Wang Daoyuan could not compare to it in terms of toughness or strength. Even if Zhao Jingwei used his full strength, he could only injure the metal-armored corpse. It was very difficult for him to even heavily injure it. Perhaps only his master, Daoist Thunderflame, would be able to severely injure it with a single strike. Now, Wang Daoyuan understood why Zhao Lingyan and the 2 gold core cultivators of the Zhao family would self-destruct their gold cores when they attacked the mystical underworld crystal mine. In such a narrow environment, human cultivators were unable to display their advantage in speed and magic. They were far from being a match for the refined corpses. The fact that the 2 Zhao family cultivators were able to self-detonate their gold cores was already pretty good. Otherwise, their gold cores and blood essence would have become nutrients for the metal elite zombie. The metal elite zombie's speed was relatively fast among refined zombies, especially when it was running on the ground. However, flying in the sky was not very fast. The reason why he was able to fly out of the mine so quickly was most likely due to his physical strength. As it continued to fly in the air, its speed was about the same as a golden core cultivator who did not have a high-level escape technique. On the other hand, refined corpse's main means of attack was its physical body. As long as it didn't get close, there was no need to be afraid of it. Wang Daoyuan's escape technique was not bad. He would not be taken down by a refined corpse. However, things like the Black Tortoise Purgatory and Sword Cultivator spells would not be able to injure it. He could only rely on the Scarlet Feathered Crow's natal spiritual fire to consume the corpse and death aura on its body. He drew out flames from the Scarlet Feathered Crow's body and activated the Vermilion Bird fan to increase the intensity of the flames, burning the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie dodged a few times, but was still caught by the flames. After being ignited by the flames, the Metal Elite Zombie's body shone with golden light. The golden light quickly turned into a black mist and enveloped the flames. The flames were quickly extinguished. Wang Daoyuan activated the Vermilion Bird fan with all his strength, but could only barely keep the flames on the refined corpse from extinguishing. If he wanted to burn the Metal Elite Zombie to death, it would take at least 2 to 3 months. The cowardly Luo Jiuyo also revealed himself and released his Yin Qi to help the Metal Elite Zombie suppress the flames. The flames on the Metal Elite Zombie's body were getting smaller and smaller. The Scarlet Feathered Crow also hurriedly took action. He flapped his wings repeatedly, but the flames on the Metal Elite Zombie's body were still showing signs of weakening. At this rate, they could only exhaust some of the corpse and death aura. It would be very difficult to injure the Metal Elite Zombie. And this was because the scarlet gold flames could restrain the Metal Elite Zombie. Had it been a cultivator without any means to restrain the Metal Elite Zombie, even a half-step Yuanying would have to expend a lot of effort to injure the Metal Elite Zombie. Wang Daoyuan deployed the Black Tortoise Purgatory in an attempt to separate Luo Jiuyo from the Metal Elite Zombie. Unfortunately, the Black Tortoise Purgatory was just a matter of a punch for the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie resisted the flames and pounced towards Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan relied on the escape of Cloud to avoid being hit by the Metal Elite Zombie. Instead, he could seize the opportunity to deal a few blows to Luo Jiuyo. However, Luo Jiuyo was too cunning. As soon as he was attacked, he fled towards the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie and Luo Jiuyo did not dare to rashly separate. Otherwise, Wang Daoyuan and the Scarlet Feathered Crow would be able to injure the Metal Elite Zombie. The two sides were in a deadlock. Neither side could defeat the other. Wang Daoyuan was not in a hurry. There was no need for him to expose more of his trump cards. It was fine as long as he could hold his ground. Victory did not depend entirely on him. As for his other 4 companions, Gu Qingfeng was slightly weaker than Sage Yen Yang. The 6th Prince and Zhong Zhenyang were basically tied. Zhao Lingjiang had a slight advantage, but he could not win in a short time. Zhao Jinggua's side, however, had a great advantage. Qian Yang and Jin Shan were already covered with cuts and bruises. They could barely hold on and were about to be defeated. As long as Zhao Jinggua could kill one of the enemy's golden core cultivators, they would be able to win quickly. As for the other 3 sects, their late golden core cultivators were already at the bottom. Currently, only the Myriad Spirits sect could pull in one more late golden core cultivator. Once the reinforcements were transferred over, they would not have enough manpower to defend Emperor Zhao. Zhao Jinggua also noticed that Wang Daoyuan's side was having a hard time winning. The long sword in his hand flickered with dazzling aqua blue radiance. He wanted to kill one of his opponents ruthlessly. Just at this moment, a plume of black smoke emerged from the mine. It rushed towards Zhao Jinggua at an extremely fast speed. Zhao Jinggua had no choice but to change the target of his attack and slashed at the black smoke. The sound of metal clashing was heard, and a black figure flew out from the black smoke. This person appeared. He was wearing a black robe and his whole body was surrounded by Yin Qi. Corpse Qi and Death Qi were hidden in the Yin Qi. He was holding a shield in his hand, but there was a deep sword mark on the shield. It was completely destroyed. The black-robed cultivator said in a hoarse voice, Zhao family's inheritance is really powerful. This sword strike can actually destroy a 4th-rank high-grade defensive magic tool. His face was quite similar to Luo Jiuyu's. Zhao Jingwa asked, You're Luo Jiuyu, who has been hiding? You're really powerful. The black-robed cultivator said with a smile, It's my honor to be praised by the #1 expert of Zhao State. He looked behind him at Qian Yang and Jin Shan, who were covered with cuts and bruises, and shouted, Retreat. With Zhao Jingwa's strength, it would be a bit difficult for him to fight 1 against 3. Everyone had consumed a lot of spiritual power. If they continued to fight, they would not have a chance to win, and casualties would be inevitable. Wang Daoyuan also left with everyone and returned to Mount Guiyuan. After returning to Mount Guiyuan, Wang Daoyuan asked, Minister Zong, what do you think of Luo Jiuyu's strength? Zhao Jingwa thought for a moment and replied, he should be about the same as Ling Jiang, but his physical strength is extremely strong. I fought with the cruel Sun Palace's Jinyang renegade. When he used his Dharma idol, his strength was about the same as Luo Jiuyu's. Previously, when you received my sword strike, you mainly relied on the strength of your physical body. County King, Dao Yu Gu, you too also walked the path of body refinement. Have you seen such a strong physical body? Gu Qingfeng shook his head. Wang Daoyuan said, if it was my master, Lei Yanjinren, he might have this strength. But the Netherworld sect is not good at body refinement, so it's unlikely for them to cultivate such a person. Although he deliberately hid it, I still found corpse chi and death chi on his body. Moreover, these two are extremely pure. They are definitely not from being in contact with corpses for a long time. In addition, with such a strong physical body, I suspect that he's a half-corpse. Gu Qingfeng was a bit confused, but the Zhao family's faces changed slightly. Zhao Lingjiang quickly asked, County King, are you talking about the secret technique that allows living people to absorb corpse chi and death chi into their bodies and refine them into half-human half-corpse? Chapter 619. Wang Daoyuan nodded his head. Zhao Jingwa asked, are you sure? He said thoughtfully, before I formed my gold core, I met a half-corpse when I was traveling in the southern wasteland. That person's body was extremely strong, and there were obvious fluctuations of corpse chi and death chi on his body. This was very similar to Luo Jiuyu. However, that half-corpse vitality and blood chi were almost undetectable. Unlike Luo Jiuyu, who had extremely strong vitality. Minister Zong Jingqing fought with him at close range. Did you feel anything unusual? When he attacked, the black smoke also had the effect of concealing the consciousness, so I didn't feel anything. Later on, when I forced him to retreat with a sword, I felt obvious fluctuations of corpse chi and death chi. The underworld sect's inheritance was mainly about refining corpses and controlling ghosts. It was normal for them to have some of these things on their bodies. I didn't take it seriously, but the County King's words were indeed not quite right. If they were tainted, they would definitely be extremely impure. The corpse chi and death chi on Luo Jiuyu's body were very pure, and completely merged with his body. It was indeed very similar to a refined corpse. The County King has dealt with half-corpses before, may I know if they have any weaknesses? Wang Daoyuan replied, since the day he became a half-corpse, his body has been continuously transforming into a refined corpse. Unless he has some kind of treasure, it's impossible to suppress it. The closer he is to a refined corpse, the stronger his body is, but the weaker his spells are. The refined corpse I dealt with was at the late stage of the Violet Palace realm. His body was indeed far stronger than a late-stage Violet Palace realm body refiner, but his spells were inferior to an ordinary early-stage Violet Palace realm cultivator. It's just that Luo Jiuyu's vitality is still very strong, so I'm not sure how much power his spells have left. Zhao Jingwa pondered for a long time. The other side suddenly had two people with battle strength comparable to Ling Jiang. Fortunately, the County King's Golden Crow can restrain the Metal Elite Corpse. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for us. It was also very difficult for me to deal with Luo Jiuyu, Qian Yang, and Jin Shan. I could only ask His Majesty for help and transfer Shanbei's Ling Su over. Although he's not as strong as Ling Jiang, he's slightly stronger than Ling Hai. Dealing with Qian Yang shouldn't be a problem. Gu Daoyu, on the other hand, has to be careful. Zhao and the county king all have methods to restrain the underworld sect. It will be difficult for them to kill us. Gu Daoyu doesn't have the means to restrain the underworld sect. Even if his escape art is powerful, it is inevitable that he will lose. Gu Qingfeng also looked worried, not knowing what to do. He was an earth-type cultivator and was the weakest among all the cultivators. If the three sects wanted to kill the cultivators here, he would be the easiest target. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, Daoyu, don't worry. I have an earth element spell that can be used together with Kirin's vision. This spell was called Kirin's evil suppression spell. It could reduce the power of evil cultivators' attacks by 10 to 20%. If Daoyu learns this technique, it won't be difficult for him to deal with the cultivators of the Netherworld sect. Gu Qingfeng's face was full of joy. The royal prince likes to do business. I wonder what you've taken a fancy to. You've already taken away my Gu clan's cultivation technique inheritance, so I don't have anything good on me now. It's great to do business with a straightforward person. I want to take care of Daoyu's earth elemental evasion technique. Gu Qingfeng thought for a long time and still felt that preserving his life was more important. He took out a jade slip. Wang Daoyuan took out 2 jade slips and exchanged them with Gu Qingfeng. This evasion technique was called flying dust evasion. It was similar to the Wang clan's cloud evasion. It used one's own earth-type spirit energy or external earth-type spirit energy to condense flying dust and hide in it. If it didn't go underground, it would be faster than the cloud evasion. As an earth-type evasion technique, there was no problem in going underground. Its speed was also much faster than basic earth-type evasion techniques. When used in the air, it could also borrow the wind to increase its speed. Zhao Jinghua sent a message to Emperor Zhao, wanting to transfer Zhao Lingshu over. Zhao Lingshu oversaw Guo Yuan sword sect, which was also an important place to produce all kinds of resources. If he wanted to transfer him over, he would have to transfer as many resources as possible to Jinyan City. It would take at least 10 days to half a month, so there was no rush. Before this, Wang Daoyuan practiced flying dust evasion. Gu Qingfeng was also practicing Kirin's evil suppression spell. The two of them consulted each other. With Gu Qingfeng's guidance, Wang Daoyuan only needed 2 days to successfully execute it. Gu Qingfeng had the yellow mane Kirin's vision, so he wasn't slow in cultivating Kirin's evil suppression spell. With Wang Daoyuan's guidance, he mastered it in 10 days. The thick earth profound handle was relatively simple. Gu Qingfeng only needed 2 or 3 days to be able to execute it. 20 days later, a blue-robed golden core cultivator arrived at Mount Guiyuan on a flying boat transporting resources from Jinyan City. This was Zhao Lingshu of the Zhao clan. His hair and beard were all white. He was at least 800 or 900 years old. Once Zhao Lingshu arrived, the battle could begin. The 6 of them once again rushed to the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine. After 20 days, Qian Yang and Jin Shan, who were covered in cuts and bruises, had already recovered. When Wang Daoyuan and the others arrived near the mine, the other party came out to meet them. The newcomer Zhao Lingshu dealt with Jin Shan of the Myriad Spirit sect and his golden eagle. Zhao Jinghua dealt with Luo Jiuyu and Qian Yang. Metal Elite Zombie and Luo Jiuyu immediately attacked Gu Qingfeng. Wang Daoyuan naturally wouldn't let them succeed. Otherwise, with one less person on his side, it would be difficult to fight. Gu Qingfeng executed Kirin's evil suppression technique and took out his Fangtian halberd to resist Metal Elite Zombie. He was definitely not a match for Metal Elite Zombie alone. Wang Daoyuan also executed Kirin's evil suppression technique. His body emitted an earthy yellow radiance. At the same time, he took out the 5 elements demon suppression seal and smashed it towards Metal Elite Zombie. Red Feathered Crow flew towards Luo Jiuyu to prevent him from launching a sneak attack. Luo Jiuyu, on the other hand, didn't interfere. Red Feathered Crow chased after him until he covered his head and fled like a rat. The two of them worked together to resist Metal Elite Zombie's attack and didn't fall into a disadvantageous position. However, when they clashed head-on, their bodies had to bear an enormous amount of force. Metal Elite Zombie could withstand it, but Wang Daoyuan and Gu Qingfeng didn't have such strong bodies. Spiritual Master Yan Yang also came to join in the fun. Gu Qingfeng went to block him. Metal Elite Zombie was determined to kill Gu Qingfeng. He completely ignored Wang Daoyuan's attack. He summoned a ball of flame from Red Feathered Crow's body and activated the Vermilion Bird Fan. The flame instantly expanded to the size of a wheel and burned towards Metal Elite Zombie. Metal Elite Zombie used the same old method. He covered himself with black gas to suppress the golden flame and continued to attack Gu Qingfeng. Wang Daoyuan transmitted to Gu Qingfeng, telling him to flee to the east. This Metal Elite Zombie was too difficult to deal with. If he couldn't get rid of it, Gu Qingfeng could be killed at any time. Wang Daoyuan planned to lure Metal Elite Zombie to a faraway place and execute a minor ability. Together with Red Feathered Crow and Firebane Gourd, they would burn Metal Elite Zombie to death. After receiving Lu Cheng's transmission, Gu Qingfeng transformed into a cloud of dust and fled to the east. Even Metal Elite Zombie's intelligence was negligible. It must have received its master's order to pursue Gu Qingfeng with all its might. The speed of flying dust escape was extremely fast. Metal Elite Zombie could only chase from afar. Spiritual Master Yan Yang was also in hot pursuit. Wang Daoyuan ordered Red Feathered Crow to entangle Luo Jiuyo so that he wouldn't cause trouble. Gu Qingfeng lured Metal Elite Zombie more than 500 miles away. Wang Daoyuan ordered him to entangle Spiritual Master Yan Yang. Soon after, he executed a minor ability. The spiritual energy within a radius of 100 miles instantly gathered. The spiritual energy from the outside world was rapidly replenished, forming a spiritual energy vortex with a radius of 100 miles. Wang Daoyuan rapidly converted the spiritual energy into fire spiritual energy. He took out the Vermilion Bird Fan and condensed a Vermilion Bird Phantom, which pounced towards Metal Elite Zombie. The golden flame on Metal Elite Zombie's body burned fiercely. It released the black gas with all its might. It could barely suppress the black gas and continue to pursue Gu Qingfeng. Wang Daoyuan used his consciousness to draw out the Scarlet Luan's Nirvana fire from the Firebane Gourd and placed it near the fire attribute spiritual vein in the spiritual pearl. He took out the gourd and drew in a wisp of golden flame. Soon after, he injected the spiritual energy collected by his minor ability into the gourd. The gourd was quickly filled with golden flame. He controlled the gourd to spew out a large amount of golden flame, protecting Metal Elite Zombie. The spiritual energy within a radius of 100 miles continuously converged towards the gourd. The golden flame also grew more and more. Metal Elite Zombie was surrounded by a huge fireball with a radius of 10 miles. The Vermilion Bird Phantom was still tossing and turning in the sea of fire, continuously increasing the firepower. Waves of black smoke and stench spread out from the sea of fire. Metal Elite Zombie couldn't hold on any longer. He couldn't care less about killing Gu Qingfeng. He fled towards the entrance of the mine, hoping to use the Yin energy in the vein to extinguish the fire. Gu Qingfeng was chased like a stray dog. How could he let it do as it wished? He executed the flying dust escape and arrived in front of Metal Elite Zombie. He brandished his Fangtian halberd and struck it. Metal Elite Zombie was forced to retreat more than 10 miles. However, the sea of fire was still following it under the control of the Vermilion Bird Phantom. Spiritual Master Flaming Sun used his fire controlling technique to disperse the sea of fire. However, he was trapped by Wang Daoyuan's Black Tortoise Purgatory. He used all his strength to break the Black Tortoise Purgatory. Metal Elite Zombie couldn't escape. He also saw that Wang Daoyuan had a minor ability that he couldn't compare to. Even if he continued to stay here, he wouldn't be of any use. Once Wang Daoyuan destroyed Metal Elite Zombie, he wouldn't be able to escape death either. He turned into a ball of fire and fled towards the entrance of the mine. Gu Qingfeng was worried that Metal Elite Zombie would attack the other companions and chased after him. Metal Elite Zombie wanted to continue fleeing towards the west, but Wang Daoyuan used the 5 elements seal to meet it head-on. Every time they collided, Wang Daoyuan felt his blood boil and his whole body ache. However, the effect wasn't bad. Metal Elite Zombie couldn't move an inch towards the west. When the cultivators of the 3 sects saw that Metal Elite Zombie was surrounded, they wanted to come to his rescue. However, they were entangled by the cultivators of the Zhao family. The golden sea of fire continued to burn. Wang Daoyuan repeatedly took medicinal pellets to replenish the consumption of his consciousness and heal his injuries. 2 hours later, Wang Daoyuan couldn't hold on any longer. His consciousness was almost depleted. Metal Elite Zombie had consumed too much of his corpse and death aura. His strength and physical strength were much weaker than before. Wang Daoyuan stopped using his minor ability and only used the Vermilion Bird Fan and the Meteorite Fire Controlling Gourd to deal with him. The sea of fire quickly shrank and turned into a 300 zhang wide ball of fire. However, Metal Elite Zombie was still powerless to resist. After burning for another 4 hours, Metal Elite Zombie turned into a pile of ashes. The cultivators of the 3 sects had ashen faces. They no longer had the heart to continue fighting and fled back to the mine. Wang Daoyuan was already an arrow at the end of its flight. The others had fought for several hours and had consumed a lot of energy. They didn't pursue him any further and returned to Origin Mountain while chatting and laughing. Chapter 620. In order to prevent the Metal Elite Zombie from escaping, Wang Daoyuan used the Kirin seal to fight it head-on. His body was under great pressure. After many head-on clashes, his injuries were not light. He killed the Metal Elite Zombie by relying on his last breath. After he succeeded, his last breath dissipated and he almost could not fly. After forming his core, he had never fought so hard again. At this time, the Azure Dragon Pearl was releasing vitality in his body to heal his injuries. The elixirs he had eaten earlier were also slowly taking effect. After returning to the returning mountain, Zhao Jingwa took out a few jars of spirit wine and distributed it to everyone. He specially handed a jar of 1,000-year-old wine to Wang Daoyuan. I didn't expect the County King's ability to be so powerful that it could kill the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie should be the one who forced the 2 clansmen to self-destruct their golden cores in the Abyss Crystal Mine. Thank you, County King, for avenging the 2 clansmen of the Zhao clan. Wang Daoyuan took the jar of wine and drank with everyone. After drinking, Zhao Jingwa asked, County King, what do you plan to do next? Continue to wear them down. The other golden core cultivators of the 3 sects are either guarding the mountain gates or being restrained by His Majesty. Zhong Zhenyang had the intention to surrender. He did not use his full strength these few times. When Luo Jiuyo was in danger, he pretended not to see it. As long as Luo Jiuyo and Luo Jiuyu are killed, the cultivators of the 3 sects will definitely collapse. We can let Zhong Zhenyang go. There is only one golden core cultivator of the Luo clan in the Underworld sect. Soon, there will be chaos in the Underworld sect. Some of the golden core cultivators will defect to His Majesty. Once the Underworld sect surrenders, the Wanling sect and the Crescent Sun Palace will definitely not be a match. However, we need to pay attention to the Cold River Pass. If the Wanling sect no longer defends the pass and the Wei Kingdom invades, we will be in big trouble. Zhao Jingwa nodded. Don't worry, County King. I will pass on your words to His Majesty. Everyone dispersed to recover their spiritual power and injuries. 7 days later, the battle began again. Wang Daoyuan showed the strength to kill the Metal Elite Zombie alone. The other party naturally did not dare to let Luo Jiuyo face him alone. This time, Luo Jiuyu resisted Zhao Jingwa alone, and Xian came over to resist Wang Daoyuan. Now that Gu Qingfeng had the Kirin's evil suppression spell, he could somewhat restrain the Underworld sect's inheritance. In addition, his escape technique was strong, and he was also a body-refining cultivator. The Netherworld sect couldn't kill him, so they didn't continue to target him. At this point, both the Myriad Spirit sect and the Cruel Sun Palace were somewhat passive. For hundreds of years, although the three sects did not go to war, there were many small fights and backstabbings. Moreover, the two sects were backed by the Wei Kingdom and the Song Kingdom. If they really couldn't do it, they could surrender. The Netherworld sect had no way out, so why should the other two sects risk their lives for the Netherworld sect? This time, the cultivators of the two sects didn't go all out. They just wanted to preserve their own lives. Even Qianyang didn't go all out against Wang Daoyuan. As soon as the two of them met, Qianyang brought out a long sword that was burning with flames. This fellow was able to withstand Zhao Lingjiang's attacks in the Three River Market. His strength was similar to Wang Daoyuan's. Wang Daoyuan couldn't be bothered to use any more minor divine abilities, so he decided to use this opponent of his to practice his sword cultivation dharma spells. He brought out the white tiger blade, and 10 sword shadows appeared to block this sword. After using 3 sword shadows, he repelled Qianyang's long sword. He didn't need to worry about Luo Jiuyo. The Red-Winged Crow would deal with him. The Red-Winged Crow could only use the strength of a mid-stage golden core cultivator to deal with ordinary cultivators. With its pure yang qi and natal true fire, it didn't feel much pressure to deal with late-stage golden core cultivators of the Netherworld sect. Luo Jiuyo used all kinds of methods, but he was only able to exchange blows with the Red-Winged Crow. Wang Daoyuan replenished the sword shadows, condensed the thick earth mystic handle, and used the flying dust escape to attack Qianyang. Both of them were body-refining cultivators, so close combat was more interesting. Qianyang wasn't a sword cultivator, but his physical body was stronger than Wang Daoyuan's, and the grade of his natal dharma artifact was also higher. Both of them didn't use their full strength, so they were evenly matched. On the other hand, Zhao Jinggua's side was particularly lively. Luo Jiuyu kept taking out all kinds of dharma artifacts and rarely used dharma spells. Now, it was certain that this guy was a half-corpse. His physical body was in a half-corpse state. Although it was very strong, in terms of corpse chi and death chi, it was inferior to a real refined corpse. In terms of dharma spells, the power was also far inferior. To deal with ordinary cultivators of the same level, he could rely on his physical body to crush them. But to deal with a ruthless person like Zhao Jinggua, he didn't dare to use his physical body to take the attack. He didn't have a strong physical body like the metal elite corpse. Zhao Jinggua's sword could send him away directly. He could only use the corpse chi and death chi in his body to activate the evil cultivator's dharma artifact to deal with Zhao Jinggua. Zhao Jinggua's long sword was condensed with a thick layer of water spiritual power, and lightning flashed in it. He didn't use any dharma spells, and just slashed out sword rays one by one. Each sword ray could break one of Luo Jiuyu's high-grade level 4 dharma artifacts. Although the blooming water lightning sword consumed a lot of spiritual power, it only slashed out sword rays, which were about 30% more than the blooming water divine lightning. With his strength, slashing out 100 times wasn't a problem. Luo Jiuyu's dharma artifacts were quickly exhausted, and his dodging speed couldn't compare to the sword rays. A sword ray slashed on his body, leaving a deep wound. Luo Jiuyu most likely had some relationship with the sixth prince. When he escaped, he didn't hesitate and turned into a black mist to escape. However, although his black mist was very fast, it couldn't last for long. He didn't dare to escape to the west, so he fled towards the mine. His physical body was very strong, and it would take a lot of effort to kill him. Zhao Jinggua didn't chase after him, and turned to attack the myriad spirit sect's Daoist flying feather. One Zhao Lingjiang was already hard for him to deal with, and now there was the #1 expert of the Zhao state. Who could withstand this? Daoist flying feather ordered the gold-tailed owl to block, and he used an escape technique to escape to the west. He didn't have any confidence in defending the mysterious netherworld crystal mine, and didn't even enter the mine. Seeing him escape, Jin Shan didn't dare to continue fighting, and rode the golden eagle to escape. This man and eagle didn't have much fighting power, but they were very fast, and no one could catch up. The power of law on Zhong Zhenyang's body surged, and then black smoke spread out from his body. This black smoke was very corrosive, and black ghost heads kept flying out to attack everyone. The people of the Zhao family hurriedly used their spiritual power to protect themselves, and Gu Qingfeng also condensed the yellow mane Kirin's shadow and used the Kirin evil suppression technique. Zhong Zhenyang's small divine ability was really interesting, and Wang Daoyuan also used a small divine ability to convert all the surrounding spiritual power into fire attribute. He also released the meteoric flame-controlling gourd to burn the black smoke. In just a few breaths of time, the black smoke dissipated. At this time, Zhong Zhenyang had escaped more than 100 miles to the west, and his speed was very fast. In the black smoke, the red-feathered crow didn't dare to chase Luo Jiuyo anymore, and used his natal spiritual fire to protect himself and escape the range of the black smoke. Luo Jiuyo also took this opportunity to escape, and he also wanted to continue to the west, but the red-feathered crow chased after him. In desperation, he could only hide in the mine. The two cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace, who weren't very fast, were surrounded by 6 people. Spiritual Master Yan Yang was a little bold, and he rushed toward Wang Daoyuan with all his might, wanting to detonate his golden core and take him away. Unfortunately, his escape technique wasn't very good, and Wang Daoyuan used the flying dust escape to escape downwards. Soon, he was more than 20 miles away, and seeing that the distance was getting farther and farther, Spiritual Master Yan Yang directly detonated his golden core. Wang Daoyuan had already reached the surface, and directly escaped underground. When the explosion of his golden core reached the surface, Wang Daoyuan had already escaped several hundred feet underground. With the obstruction of several hundred feet of rock, the power of the explosion was almost negligible. Wang Daoyuan didn't suffer any injuries, and escaped to the surface unscathed. Everyone stared at him with a mocking expression, and his expression was very complicated. After a long time, he cupped his hands and said, "Dao Yu, I've always been a hidden cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace, and have never shown my face outside. When the 3 sects rebelled, I didn't participate. Before, in the 3 River Market, I only fought with Marquis Ling Jiang and Dao Yu, and didn't kill anyone from the Zhao family. The golden core of the Cruel Sun Palace that was killed by Spiritual Master Yu Quan also had no relationship with me. I'm willing to surrender, and I ask that Dao Yu give me a way out." Zhao Jingguo looked at Wang Daoyuan. After all, the Wang family and the Cruel Sun Palace were mortal enemies, and he needed to ask for his opinion. Wang Daoyuan also didn't have any objections. Emperor Zhao had already decreed that those who surrendered would not be killed, and he couldn't openly disobey. This person was also not like the other cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace, who would get angry at the mention of the Wang family. When this guy fought with Wang Daoyuan, he didn't seem to be going all out, so there was no harm in letting him go. With him as an example, it would be easier to recruit the cultivators of the 3 sects in the future. Wang Daoyuan nodded. "Since His Majesty has already decreed that those who surrender will not be killed, I naturally have no objections." Qian Yang's face showed joy, and he hurriedly cupped his hands, saying, "Many thanks to Your Highness, many thanks to Duke Anghua." The cultivators of the 3 sects had either fled or died, and now that the Zhao family's strength clearly held the upper hand, it was time to force the underworld sect to surrender. The 2 rats in the mysterious netherworld crystal mine also had to be pulled out and killed. Chapter 621. This mysterious netherworld crystal vein was formed by the passage of an underground Yin vein during the ancient times. There were no Yin veins now, only a rank 3 non-attributed spiritual vein nearby. The vein was not very long, only about 100 miles long. Luo Jiuyo and Luo Jiuyu were hiding inside, and the Yin qi emitted by the ore below made it difficult for ordinary people to deal with them. However, Wang Daoyuan's minor ability could still be used. The theoretical range of his minor ability was a spherical space with a radius of 100 miles with him as the center. Unfortunately, the sky was not high enough, and the 9 heavens astral wind was at a height of more than 10,000 miles. The power of law of his minor ability could not withstand a single blow from the astral wind. Moreover, it would be blocked by the underground rock stratum. If it was on a complete rock stratum, without any interference, his minor ability could only reach a depth of a few hundred feet. However, there was already a cave in the mysterious netherworld crystal vein, and his minor ability could still extend inside. When everyone arrived at the entrance of the cave, the Golden Core practitioners of the three sects had suffered a crushing defeat, and the low-level practitioners in charge of the vein had fled. Now that there was no one managing the defensive formation at the entrance of the cave, and there was not much spiritual energy left in the formation plate, Zhao Jingguo broke the formation with a casual swing of his sword. He used his consciousness to explore the cave, then turned to Wang Daoyuan and asked, "The yin qi in the cave is very dense, and suppresses the consciousness. Luo Jiuyu and Luo Jiuyo are good at hiding. If we go down rashly, we may be ambushed by them. Your Highness has many tricks up your sleeve, do you have any way to deal with them?" Wang Daoyuan nodded and said, "I do have some ideas, but I need the cooperation of Qianyang Daoyu and Zhao Lingyan Daoyu. In a while, I will use my minor ability to control the spiritual energy in the cave and bring the yin qi out. When the time comes, Qianyang Daoyu and Zhao Daoyu will pour their fire spiritual energy into the fire ward gourd. If we can fill the cave with the spiritual fire of the Golden Crow, Luo Jiuyu and Luo Jiuyo will suffer." Previously, when he burned the metal elite zombie, he had to rely on himself and almost died of exhaustion. Now that everyone was free, it would be a waste to not use idle people. Zhao Jingguo nodded and immediately took out a jade talisman to send a message to Zhao Lingyan, who was overseeing Mount Guiyuan. 15 minutes later, Zhao Lingyan arrived at the entrance of the mine. Wang Daoyuan activated his small divine art and controlled the spirit qi in the mine to surge out. A gust of wind blew at the entrance of the cave, bringing out the yin qi from the mine. This yin qi was slowly released by the mysterious netherworld crystal ore, and it had accumulated over the years. Now that it had been brought out, the ores wouldn't release much yin energy for the time being. In just half a cup of tea's time, the yin qi in the mine had been sucked dry. Wang Daoyuan summoned the meteorite fire raining gourd, and under the urging of it, the gourd continued to pour out golden flames. He instructed Zhao Lingyan and Qianyang Daoyu, take turns to inject fire spiritual energy into the gourd. The two of them nodded. Zhao Lingyan went first. A ball of fiery red spiritual energy flew out of his hand and wrapped around the gourd. The fire spiritual energy was quickly absorbed by the gourd and turned into golden flames that poured into the mine. There was a third-order medium-grade attributeless spirit vein near the mine, which was still constantly seeping spirit qi into the mine. Wang Daoyuan transformed all the spirit qi into fire spiritual energy, but he didn't extract it and inject it into the fire raining gourd. The golden flames that poured into the mine could ignite the fire spiritual energy. Although the efficiency of fire spiritual energy was relatively low, the consumption of spiritual energy was much smaller. He also summoned the vermilion bird fan, and a vermilion bird phantom flew into the mine to increase the power of the flames in the mine. Using the vermilion bird fan to cast the vermilion bird fire controlling technique didn't consume spiritual energy, so he could hold on for a while. Under the guidance of the vermilion bird phantom, the flames quickly spread throughout the entire mine. At this time, it was a battle of attrition. If Wang Daoyuan and the others couldn't hold on, then they couldn't do anything to Luo Jiuyu and Zhao Lingyan. If Luo Jiuyu and Zhao Lingyan couldn't hold on, then they would either escape to their deaths or be burned to ashes. After a quarter of an hour, screams came from the mine. Soon, Wang Daoyuan's spiritual energy discovered that someone was using an escape technique to fly towards the entrance of the mine. He glanced at Qianyang, and Qianyang nodded. His right arm condensed a giant arm phantom formed by flames. The newcomer quickly reached the entrance of the mine and shouted in a hoarse voice, "I'm Sir." Before he finished speaking, Qianyang punched him. The newcomer was beaten half to death and fell into the mine again. Qianyang dispersed the arm phantom and said with a smile, "This one can't take a beating. It should be Luo Jiuyo." Luo Jiuyo was quickly burned to death, and his body turned to ashes. In the depths of the mine, there were still screams from time to time. After a quarter of an hour, the screams disappeared. Wang Daoyuan put away the minor divine ability, and Qianyang and Zhao Lingyan continued to inject fire spiritual energy into the gourd. After another quarter of an hour, Wang Daoyuan let them stop. He drove the fire in gourd to take back all the flames in the mine. After the heat dissipated, he released 1,000 second-rank middle-grade soul-chasing bees and let them enter the mine to check the situation. As the pillar of the Netherworld sect, the Nine Abyss mysterious crystal mine was not overexploited, and the mine was not complicated. Not long after, the soul-chasing bees came back to report. There were no living people in the mine, and there were no other exits. There were only 2 piles of ashes. Wang Daoyuan and the others still went in to check, in case Luo Jiuyu used an escape technique such as the earth escaping technique to hide underground. This mine was more than 3,000 feet deep underground. Once the earth escaping technique was used to escape to another place, even a late-stage golden core cultivator would be crushed to death by the pressure of the rock layer. If he wanted to hide, he could only hide under the mine. There was a hole above, so it was not a problem to escape a few thousand feet down. Near the 2 piles of ashes, there were burned pieces of golden cores, which were exactly the same as Luo Jiuyu's aura. After being burned by the red gold flame, this thing was useless. Zhao Jinghua also used a secret technique to check the mine, but he did not find any trace of escape using the earth escaping technique. Now it was certain that both of them had been burned to death. Zhao Jinghua put away the pieces of golden cores and used them to summon the cultivators of the Netherworld sect. Wang Daoyuan wanted to return to the primordial mountain to recuperate before going to the Netherworld sect to summon them. At this time, Zhong Zhenyang sent a message. He said that he had killed the last golden core cultivator of the Luo family, and the Zhong, Gu, and Ming families of the Netherworld sect had surrendered to Emperor Zhao. Those who were not willing to abandon the dark side and join the light side had all been eliminated, and the treasury had been sealed. He invited Wang Daoyuan and the others to the Netherworld sect's mountain gate to accept their surrender. Everyone was shocked when they received the message. Zhong Zhenyang's actions were really fast. Not long after killing Luo Jiuyu and the other person, the other side had already changed sides and eliminated the remaining enemies. Wang Daoyuan showed the communication jade talisman to Zhao Jinghua and asked, "Minister Zong, what do you think we should do?" Zhao Jinghua looked at the jade talisman and said, "This battle is led by the Duke, so the Duke has the final say." It had to be said that other than the 6th prince and a few stubborn old men, the rest of the Zhao family were good at doing things. Forcing the Netherworld sect to surrender was a great merit. At this time, whoever was in charge, the merit would be mainly given to them. Zhao Jinghua said this to put the credit on Wang Daoyuan's head. However, Wang Daoyuan did not want this merit. The Wang family was already an extremely high official. Before, they had already killed several strong enemies, and they also had the merit of commanding and planning. No matter how great the merit, it was useless. Could it make Emperor Zhao take off his robe and give up the throne? Wang Daoyuan did not have any use for this merit of surrendering, and it would attract fear for no reason. It was better to give it to Zhao Jinghua, which could also be considered as showing goodwill to the Zhao family. Thinking of this, Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "The Netherworld sect surrendered to Emperor Zhao. Minister Zong is in charge of the Zhao family's affairs, and is most suitable to represent Emperor Zhao. You are still the leader." Zhao Jinghua also understood his meaning and agreed to this matter. The group of people rode a cloud towards the Netherworld sect. Zhao Jinghua also sent a message to Emperor Zhao to report the battle situation, and asked how to deal with the Netherworld sect and the surrendered Qianyang. Chapter 622. When they arrived at the Underworld sect, Wang Daoyuan couldn't help but sigh. In the past, they had to swallow their pride, but this time, they had to surrender as the victors. At this moment, all the formations in the Underworld sect had been shut down. Wang Daoyuan scanned with his divine sense and didn't find anything wrong. Zhong Zhenyang led Gu Wangzong, Zhong Yaoting, and the Gu clan's Grand Elder Gu Xinghai to stand respectfully outside the Underworld sect. There were many Violet Palace Realm and Foundation Establishment Realm cultivators behind them, many of whom Wang Daoyuan was familiar with. For example, Zhou Qi, Lu Jinhui, and the Old Drunkard. Everyone walked forward with Zhao Jinghua in the lead, Wang Daoyuan followed closely behind, and the others followed behind. When they arrived, Zhong Zhenyang and the others bowed, and the cultivators below the Golden Core realm knelt. Zhong Zhenyang took out a beast skin book and handed it to Zhao Jingguo with both hands. Sinner Zhong Zhenyang, I present the list of the underworld sect's inheritances. Sinner Gu Wangzong, I present the list of the underworld sect's properties. Sinner Ming Huai, I present the list of the underworld sect's disciples and affiliated families. The three of them represented the three main families of the underworld sect and expressed their allegiance. Then, Zhong Yaoting and Gu Xinghai presented the underworld sect's defensive formation activation tokens and the key to the treasury. Zhao Jingguo ordered Zhao Lingjiang and Zhao Lingshu to accept the items. Then, he said, "Everyone, you have forsaken the darkness and joined the light. This duke has already reported to His Majesty the merits of killing the traitors. His Majesty is benevolent and has forgiven your rebellion. Also, I'll reward you for your contributions." Zhong Zhenyang will be conferred the title of Count, and Gu Xinghai, Gu Wangzong, Zhong Yaoting, and Ming Huai will be conferred the title of Viscount. Sinner Qian Yang of the Cruel Sun Palace helped Princess Qingli kill the traitors Luo Jiuyo and Luo Jiuyu and was conferred the title of Count. Your titles haven't been decided yet, and once they are decided, the documents and seals will be sent over. The six of them bowed and thanked Zhao Jingguo. Zhong Zhenyang asked, "Dukan, how should we deal with the Luo family?" Zhao Jingguo replied, "Luo Jiuyo and the others have committed grave crimes, but the Luo Jiuyo and the rest. The cultivators of the Luo clan will all atone for their crimes by performing meritorious deeds. The ordinary clansmen will be divided into the Zhong, Gu, and Ming clans." Zhong Zhenyang cupped his fists and nodded. Then, he led everyone to the conference hall. This time, there was no need to walk step by step along the stairs. Everyone directly rode on a cloud and flew up. After entering the main hall, Wang Daoyuan and Zhao Jingguo both sat on the main seats. Wang Daoyuan asked, "What should we do with the Cruel Sun Palace? Does His Majesty have any orders?" The Cruel Sun Palace was guarding the Cold River Pass. If they were forced into a corner, they might just submit to the Wei Kingdom. Then, the Zhao Kingdom would be in danger. Wang Daoyuan had received a message from Zhou that the Cruel Sun Palace was in contact with the forces of the Wei Kingdom. The current state of Zhao was not the same as before. 1,000 years ago, when the state of Zhao was expanding everywhere, they did not put anyone in their eyes. Several small countries established by the Zhou family's branches had been crushed. Back when the state of Zhao beat up the state of Wei, the state of Zhou also sent people to help the state of Wei. The state of Zhao resisted the pressure of the state of Zhou and pressed the state of Wei to the ground. But now, the Zhao family was really no match for the state of Wei. Once they lost the Cold River Pass, how could the state of Wei not take revenge? Zhao Jingguo shook his head and said, "His Majesty did not say clearly. He only said that he has his own arrangements and asked us to stay in the Netherworld sect and wait for the news." Then, he sent a message to Emperor Zhao to report about the surrender. After learning the news that Wang Daoyuan and the others had won at the 9 Nether mysterious crystal vein, Emperor Zhao immediately withdrew to the Wanchuan market. At this time, he, Zhao Qingxian, Lord Linhai, and the others were in the conference hall. After receiving Zhao Jingguo's message, a smile appeared on his face. Wang Daoyuan is not simple. I gave him a county in exchange for forcing the Netherworld sect to surrender without losing a single Golden Core Realm cultivator. I also took in 4 Golden Core Realm cultivators from the Netherworld sect. I made a big profit from this deal. Everyone present also looked happy and got up to congratulate Emperor Zhao. Emperor Zhao sighed. It's really difficult to deal with the Cruel Sun Palace. It seems that we have to use the backup plan left by Big Brother. Then, he took out a palm-sized white jade token with dragon patterns. Qingxuan exchanged this thing with his life. It has been 500 years, and now it finally comes in handy. Zhao Qingyan was the second son of the first prince and Zhao Liang's second uncle. Emperor Zhao put the white jade token on the table and slammed it hard. A crack appeared on the white jade token. In the northwest corner of the Cold River County in the northwest of the state of Zhao, there was a canyon that divided the mountain into 2 sections. The cliffs on both sides of the canyon were more than 100,000 feet high, and the top of the mountain stretched into the nine heavens astral wind layer. The canyon in the middle of the cliffs was less than 100 feet wide. A dangerous pass happened to be stuck in the canyon. This was the first dangerous pass in the state of Zhao, the Cold River Pass. For hundreds of years, the state of Wei had lost many people in this dangerous pass, but the Cold River Pass was still the same. In the pass, there was always a golden core realm cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace. On the Wei side, 4 or 5 golden core realm cultivators could not take down the Cold River Pass. Hundreds of miles away from the southeast corner of the Cold River Pass, there was a tall mountain called the Cold River Peak. At the foot of the Cold River Peak, there was a stream that flowed from the north to the south. This stream was the source of the Cold River. The Cold River County and the Cold River Pass were named because of this river. At the foot of the Cold River Peak, there was a stone room that was 100 feet square, more than 3,000 feet underground. On the east wall of the stone room, there was a circular light screen with a diameter of 10 feet. Inside it was a small secret realm with a diameter of only 10 or so miles. The scenery in the secret realm was quite good. It was like a small valley with a clear spring gushing out of it. Next to the spring was a thatched cottage. 2 white-haired cultivators were meditating. One wore a blue robe, the other a silver robe. Suddenly, a white jade token with dragon patterns on the table made a crisp cracking sound. Then, a crack appeared on the token. The 2 old men were stunned, and then tears came out of their eyes. The blue-robed cultivator said with a trembling voice, "His Highness the 9th Prince is finally going to restore the state. We've waited for more than 500 years. If we don't mobilize now, I'm afraid we won't be able to hold on." The silver-robed cultivator wiped his tears. "Calm down first. We still don't know what's going on outside. I'll go to the stone room outside and send a message to the Wei clan master to ask about the situation." Then, he got up and walked outside. When he arrived at the stone room, he took out a jade token and sent a message. He soon received a reply. He looked at the jade token for a long time and couldn't hide the smile on his face. He hurriedly returned to the small secret realm. The blue-robed cultivator was waiting behind the light screen. He handed the jade token to the blue-robed cultivator. "His Highness the 9th Prince has indeed mobilized, but the remaining clansmen have been defeated by that idiot Zhao Lingtian. Now that the 9th Prince has ascended the throne, he has united the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture and the hidden clansmen of Shanbei and Green Willow Prefecture. He also roped in the descendants of Marquis Yuchuan to deal with the 3 sects together. Uncle and Marquis Yuchuan's descendants worked together and defeated the cultivators of the 3 sects at the Mystic 9 Depths crystal mine. They killed many golden core cultivators of the 3 sects, and the Netherworld sect has surrendered. Now, our Zhao clan has a great advantage and the restoration of our nation is in sight." The blue-robed cultivator took the jade token and looked at it for a long time. "It seems that His Majesty is worried about the situation at the Cold River Pass. Back then, the first prince asked us to hide here to prevent the 3 sects from rebelling and leading Wei cultivators into the pass. Now that His Majesty's Jade Dragon token has cracked, it should be that His Majesty wants us to seize the Cold River Pass. The Cruel Sun Palace only has 2 late-stage golden core cultivators left, and they are not a match for the 2 of us. As long as we seize the Cold River Pass, we won't have to worry about the Cruel Sun Palace luring a wolf into our house." Then, the blue-robed cultivator walked out of the light screen and sent out another message. 15 minutes later, a black-armored late-stage Zifu realm middle-aged cultivator walked in. He cupped his hands at the blue-robed cultivator and said, "Wei Xuanhu greets Senior." The blue-robed cultivator nodded and said, "Marquis Hanjiang's descendant is indeed extraordinary." Marquis Hanjiang and Marquis Yuchuan were close friends. Now that Marquis Yuchuan's descendant has made a great contribution, Xuanhu, don't fall behind. His Majesty has already sent a message asking us to seize the Cold River Pass and prevent the Cruel Sun Palace from luring a wolf into our house. I wonder if little friend has any plans? Wei Xuanhu cupped his hands and said, "Senior, I will bring my clansmen to the Cold River Pass in 3 days. Senior can disguise yourself as a Wei clansman and sneak into the Cold River Pass." Chapter 623. The blue-robed cultivator nodded. All right, we'll do as you say. Back then, Marquis Hanjiang died in battle with the eldest prince. The Wei family had to compromise and secretly pledged their loyalty to the Zhao family for hundreds of years. After this is over, I'll ask the emperor for a reward for the Wei family. At that time, the Wei family will be given the title of County Duke. However, you have to choose reliable clansmen. If this battle is over, there won't be any major battles in Hanjiang County. If this battle is lost and Wei country takes over Hanjiang Pass, Hanjiang County will never have peace in the future. The Zhao family didn't dare to completely trust the Wei family. After all, 500 years had passed, and the Wei family had changed a few heads. The cruel Sun Palace had always treated the Wei family well. It wasn't impossible for the Wei family to join the cruel Sun Palace. He said this to make Wei Xuanhu think twice. If this battle was over, Hanjiang County would become the battlefield between the Wei country and Zhao country. The Wei family wouldn't have a good time either. Cooperation couldn't only rely on loyalty and friendship. There had to be common interests and common enemies. Wei Xuanhu said solemnly, "Senior, don't worry. I'll definitely choose reliable clansmen." Then, he took out 2 sets of Wei family's armor. 3 days later, the 2 of you will wear this armor and follow me to Hanjiang Pass. The armor was very long and could cover the entire body. There was even a helmet with a visor. When wearing this armor, one wouldn't be able to tell who they were with the naked eye. The blue-robed cultivator put away the armor and returned to the small secret realm. 3 days later, the 2 of them wore the armor and suppressed their cultivation to the middle stage of the Foundation Establishment realm. Wei Xuanhu was already waiting for them. When he saw the 2 of them, he cupped his hands and said, "Seniors, please follow me." The 2 Zhao family's Golden Core realm cultivators followed Wei Xuanhu to the top of the mountain. At this moment, there were already a few Foundation Establishment realm cultivators and more than 20 Qi Refinement realm cultivators waiting there. It was just that Foundation Establishment and Qi Refinement cultivators' armor patterns were not quite the same, and the grades were also different. Wei Xuanhu took out a flying boat and enlarged it to more than 30 meters long. Everyone boarded the flying boat and flew towards Hanjiang Pass in the northwest direction. When they arrived at Hanjiang Pass, the flying boat landed in front of the east gate of Hanjiang Pass. Everyone got off the flying boat. Wei Xuanhu took off his helmet and took out a token. He rushed towards the city gate and shouted, "Wei family's Wei Xuanhu is here to take over the defense." A Zifu disciple of the Crescent Sun Palace peeked his head out, then laughed. "So it's Wei Daoyu. I'll open the door right now." Soon after, the east gate opened and Wei Xuanhu walked in. The Zifu disciple came to greet him. Wei Xuanhu chatted with him for a while, then bid him farewell and headed to the protector's estate. The change in guard of the Frigid River Pass had to be reported to the Golden Core cultivator guarding the place. Wei Xuanhu ordered the other clansmen to take over the western city wall, while he brought the 2 Golden Core realm cultivators of the Zhao clan to the Guardian Envoy residence. The person guarding this place was the Grand Elder of the Cruel Sun Palace, Immortal Yang, who was also at the late stage of the Golden Core realm. He had been guarding the Cold River Pass since the Cruel Sun Palace took it down 500 years ago. Wei Xuanhu brought the 2 of them into the Guardian residence. Spiritual Master Yang received them in the meeting hall. He looked at the 2 golden cores of the Zhao family and smiled. Why did Mystic Tiger bring 2 Foundation Establishment juniors here? The 2 golden cores of the Zhao family attacked at the same time, taking out a blue and a silver longsword. The blue longsword faintly flickered with lightning, while the silver longsword emitted a baleful aura. When the cultivator holding the blue sword attacked, he didn't forget to throw Wei Xuanhu out. When 2 late golden core cultivators fought, even the slightest shockwave could kill a Zifu disciple. Spiritual Master Yang was caught off guard and was ambushed by 2 cultivators who were stronger than him. It was impossible for him to dodge. He could only take out his life-bound magic weapon and take on the attacks of the 2. 2 sounds of metal clashing could be heard. Spiritual Master Yang was sent flying, crashing through several layers of the walls of the Guardian residence. Only when he hit the city wall did he stop. The two Golden Core Realm cultivators of the Zhao family quickly followed him and continued to attack. Spiritual Master Yu Yang hurriedly begged for mercy. Dao Yu, please stop. When the cruel Sun Palace took down the frigid river pass, the Zhao family had already retreated. Since then, I've been guarding this place. My hands have not been stained with the blood of the Zhao family. Emperor Zhao has decreed that as long as the cultivators of the three sects are willing to surrender, they can redeem themselves. The cruel Sun Palace is already at the end of the road. Some Golden Core Realm cultivators have already surrendered to Emperor Zhao. I'm also willing to renounce the darkness and join the light. The two Golden Core Realm cultivators glanced at each other and nodded. The blue-robed cultivator took out a blue pearl with a diameter of 3 inches and said with a smile, "The frigid river pass is of great importance. We have to be careful. This is a special Gui water lightning pearl. As long as I willed it, it would explode. As long as you swallow it, I'll believe you for the time being." When the Zhao family army breaks through the cruel Sun Palace's mountain gate and takes over the frigid river pass, I'll take it out for you. If you want to take it out yourself, it will also explode. Spiritual Master Yu Yang hesitated for a while before swallowing the pearl. The blue-robed cultivator said with a smile, "Order the cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace to stop." As soon as they started fighting, the Wei family began to seize control of the western city wall. On the frigid river pass, there were cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace as well as many cultivators of the surrounding families. Now that the Wei family and the cruel Sun Palace were fighting, the cultivators of the other families didn't know who to help. Spiritual Master Yu Yang said loudly, "Disciples of the cruel Sun Palace, listen up, give up resistance. The Netherworld sect has already surrendered to Emperor Zhao and there are not many people left in the cruel Sun Palace. If we continue to resist, we will die. I've already decided to abandon the darkness and surrender to Emperor Zhao. The palace master of the cruel Sun Palace wants to surrender to the Wei state and lead the Wei state cultivators into the pass. We all have a blood feud with the Wei state cultivators. Once they enter, will we have a good time? If Emperor Zhao attacks again, the entire frigid river county will become a battlefield. At that time, the families won't even be able to protect the foundation of their ancestors." Hearing this, most of the cruel Sun Palace disciples gave up resistance. A small number of cruel Sun Palace disciples refused to surrender and were quickly killed under the siege of the Wei family cultivators and other family cultivators. Spiritual Master Yu Yang shouted, "Clean up the pass and prepare to defend against the Wei state's attack." The Wei state had a large camp 300 kilometers west of the frigid river pass. It was impossible for them to not notice such a big commotion in the frigid river pass. It wouldn't be long before they came to take advantage of the situation. Everyone immediately took action, tidying up the western city wall and preparing to defend against the enemy. The blue-robed cultivator took out the cracked white jade token with dragon patterns and crushed it. At the Wanchuan market, the white jade token in front of Emperor Zhao also shattered into pieces. Emperor Zhao's face lit up. Great, the backup plan left by Big Brother has worked. Now that the frigid river pass is in the hands of the Zhao family, even if the cruel Sun Palace wants to collude with the Zhao state, they are powerless. Everyone, get ready, we are going to attack the Myriad Spirit sect. Everyone agreed in unison and went to prepare for the battle. Emperor Zhao took out a jade talisman and sent a message. In the Netherworld sect's meeting hall, Zhao Jinghua took out a jade talisman and said with a smile, "We didn't wait in vain. His Majesty has sent a message that the frigid river pass has been taken. We don't have to worry about the Wei state anymore and can attack the cruel Sun Palace without worry. In addition, His Majesty has ordered everyone in the Zhao family to return to the Wanchuan market. His Majesty is going to personally attack the Myriad Spirit sect. He has appointed Duke Qingli as the Southern Mountain appeasing ambassador to lead the cultivators of Linhai State, the Netherworld sect, and the cruel Sun Palace to attack the cruel Sun Palace." Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands towards the southeast and said, "As His Majesty commands." Zhao Jinghua gave Wang Daoyuan the token that controlled the various formations of the Netherworld sect, as well as the key to the treasury. Then, He left the Netherworld sect with a few golden core cultivators of the Zhao family and headed towards the southeast. Wang Daoyuan ordered, Gu Qingfeng, summon the 2 golden core cultivators stationed at Gold Goose City. Gold Goose City and Origin Mountain will be guarded by Zifu cultivators. Zhong Zhenyang, gather all the cultivators of the Netherworld sect who can participate in the battle and prepare to set off at any time. In addition, take out all the pills, talismans, magic tools, and other resources of 3rd grade and below from the Netherworld sect's treasury and supply them to the army. The 2 cupped their hands and agreed. The other cultivators also went to work. Chapter 624. Not long after everyone went down, Zhong Zhenyang sneakily came back. He took out a universe ring and said with a flattering expression, "Your Royal Highness, we are old friends. Netherworld sect bullied Wang family before, but it was all that bastard Luo Jiuyo's idea. Our 3 families didn't participate. It's just that we old guys have a blood feud with Zhao family. Emperor Zhao is magnanimous and won't lower himself to our level. It's just that the younger generation of Zhao family will inevitably target us. Their lives won't be easy. We heard that your Royal Highness can confer the title of Marquis and below, so we want to work for you. This is the universe ring I got from exploring the cave of an ancient cultivator. The space inside is 500 feet square. The copies of Netherworld sect's inheritance made by my family's younger generation are all inside. In addition, there are some local specialties of Netherworld sect. Please kindly accept them." Although Netherworld sect's 3 families had titles, their fiefs had not been determined. After Zhao family quelled the rebellion, they would reward meritorious officials. There were Zhao family's relatives, Lin Hai's 13 families, and the old nobles. Netherworld sect's 3 families were not on the same side as any other power. If there was no one above them, they could live, but after they died, their younger generations would be bullied to death. Wang Daoyuan was also very tempted by this item. The inheritance that the Underworld sect had accumulated for thousands of years was a huge treasure to any force. However, he didn't dare to agree easily. If he accepted them as his subordinates, it would be a blatant expansion of his power. It would be easy to be suspected of disloyalty. He waved his hand again and again. "I don't dare to make this decision. You surrendered to Emperor Zhao, not me. Emperor Zhao should have the final say on where the fief is. Besides, there are no large yin veins in my territory." Zhong Zhenyang said with a smile, "We don't dare to ask for success. When His Majesty assigns titles, your Royal Highness can say a few good words. It doesn't matter if there are yin veins or not." As early as 100 years ago, when the Yin Qi and Mingshui River disappeared, we began to prepare. There are some clansmen who practice righteous cultivation methods in the family. Even if there are no yin veins, the family can continue. If we have yin meridians, even if we have to seal ourselves in the bitter cold of the northern mountains, we are willing to do so. Wang Daoyuan nodded. "If that's the case, it's not a problem to say a few words, but I can't guarantee that it will work." Zhong Zhenyang's face was full of joy. "It's good that your Highness is willing to ask. I hope your Highness will kindly accept these local specialties." Wang Daoyuan accepted the interspatial ring without hesitation. It had to be said that Zhong Zhenyang was really good at doing things. There were indeed many good things in his interspatial ring. In addition to a large number of jade slips and beast skin books, there were also piles of 3rd and 4th grade refining materials and processed spirit herbs. Naturally, there was also the purple gold jade marrow fruit. He had also gathered all the supplementary herbs needed to form the gold core. Moreover, the seeds of these spirit herbs were still preserved. The local specialties of the Underworld sect were really good. He secretly decided that he would also plunder some local specialties from the Cruel Sun Palace. 2 days later, the resources and manpower of the Underworld sect had been allocated, and they were ready to go to battle at any time. Wang Daoyuan ordered a golden core cultivator from Linhai State to guard the Underworld sect. There were also low-level cultivators from the Zhao clan, Linhai State, Guiyuan Sword Sect, and some cultivators under the command of the Duke's Manor. Of course, there were also many cultivators from the underworld sect. The cultivators were a little mixed, so no one could have an absolute advantage. That way, they wouldn't dare to cause trouble. Wang Daoyuan led 7 golden core cultivators to the west. He had to take low-level cultivators with him. The cultivators of the underworld sect's Luo clan could not be left out. Wang Daoyuan didn't have the intention to scheme against them. To put it bluntly, the Luo clan's cultivators were just cannon fodder. The losses from the Cruel Sun Palace might not be great, but after taking it down, there were still battles to fight. Zhong Zhenyang, that old fox, knew his attitude towards the Luo clan. Without his orders, he would send the Luo clan's cultivators to the most dangerous place. 10 third-tier flying warships, 1 fourth-tier middle-tier flying warship, and 30 flying boats, under the leadership of 8 gold core realm cultivators, headed west. The Cruel Sun Palace wasn't far from the underworld sect. It was in the Sunset County, east of Darkwater County. It was said that in ancient times, a golden crow had fallen here, so it was named the Sunset County. The Cruel Sun Palace was in the Sunset Valley in the middle of the Sunset County. There was something special about the Sunset Valley. There were cliffs on both sides and a lava river in the middle. The lava in other places was 8,000 to 10,000 feet below the surface, but the lava river in the Sunset Valley was only 2,000 feet above the surface. Also, the spirit chi in the lava river was comparable to a rank 4 high-grade spirit vein. The entire Sunset Valley was 500 miles long and 50 miles wide at its widest. The buildings in the Cruel Sun Palace were on the cliffs on both sides of the Sunset Valley. There were also huge stone pillars protruding from the lava river. A few buildings were built on these pillars. When Wang Daoyuan and the others arrived at the Sunset Valley, the Cruel Sun Palace didn't surrender immediately like the underworld sect. The Sunset Valley was enveloped by a rank 4 high-grade defensive array. Breaking through this kind of defensive array was not something that could be done in a short period of time. They found a rank 3 mid-grade spirit vein east of the Sunset Valley as their temporary base. Then, Wang Daoyuan led the Golden Core cultivators to check the Sunset Valley's defense formation. Of course, it was also to intimidate the Cruel Sun Palace. Of the 8 Golden Core cultivators, 4 were late-stage Golden Core cultivators. The Cruel Sun Palace only had 3 Golden Core cultivators at the very most. One was Sect Master Golden Sun, one was Grand Elder Earthflame, and the last was Lei Wudao, who had just formed his core. This guy had been nurtured as a Golden Core seedling and had finally formed his core recently. The 3 of them together were 2 times the battle power of Lord Waterfront Sea. They were nothing in front of Wang Daoyuan. Qian Yang stepped forward and shouted, "I'm Qian Yang, the hidden Golden Core cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace. In terms of seniority, I'm the same as Golden Sun Sect Master. Now, the Cruel Sun Palace has lost almost all its Golden Core cultivators. It's impossible to stop Emperor Zhao's army. Emperor Zhao has decreed that cultivators of the 3 sects who surrender will redeem themselves and those who betray will be rewarded. After I surrendered, I helped the Duke kill the Underworld Sect's Sect Master Luo Jiuyo and his brother. I'm now a count." The 4 Golden Core cultivators of the Underworld Sect killed the Golden Core cultivators of the Luo family who didn't want to surrender. If you can surrender before the Duke makes his move, you'll be rewarded with a city and a title. After Emperor Zhao quells the rebellion, those with titles will be rewarded with land. Fellow disciples, it's up to you whether you want to be killed or be rewarded with land. After Qian Yang finished speaking, there was no movement in the Cruel Sun Palace. Wang Daoyuan didn't want to waste time and took out the meteorite fire-controlling gourd. Red and gold flames gushed out of the gourd. Below was a lava river and a high-grade rank 4 fire spiritual vein. The fire spiritual chi was extremely rich. The golden flames quickly ignited the fire spiritual chi and the fire quickly spread. He also took out the vermilion bird fan and used the vermilion bird fire controlling technique. The vermilion bird phantom attacked the defensive formation with the golden flames. The lava river below was also ignited by the golden flames and the fire became even fiercer. Wang Daoyuan only needed to consume a small amount of spiritual sense to control the flames of the fire-controlling gourd. Not only did he not need to consume spiritual power, he could also continuously extract spiritual power from the golden flames. If this continued, it wouldn't be a problem to last for 10 days or half a month. The attack of the vermilion bird phantom was also extremely powerful under the support of the endless flames. The fiery red light barrier of the defensive formation slightly trembled under the attack. The defensive formation of the cruel Sun Palace should be both offensive and defensive. But this formation was only passive and didn't have the slightest intention of attacking. Fire attribute formations were good at offense and didn't have much of a defensive ability. The cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace abandoned their strengths and used their weaknesses. If this continued, the formation wouldn't be able to last much longer. At this moment, Zhong Zhenyang took out a formation testing disc and began to search for the formation's weakness. 15 minutes later, a late-stage Violet Palace Realm cultivator appeared in the center of the setting Sun Valley, in front of a palace on a stone pillar. He cupped his hands at Wang Daoyuan. "Greetings, Your Highness. The Grand Elder, Palace Lord, and Vice Palace Lord have already used the sect's backup plan to escape the setting Sun Valley a day ago. They also took away the talented disciples in the palace, as well as all the inheritances and resources they could take away. Now, there are only a few old and weak people left in the formation, as well as a few mortals. Please give them a way out and let them go, Your Highness. If you want to kill them, I'll take responsibility. As long as Your Highness agrees, I'll close the defensive formation." Chapter 625. Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan was greatly disappointed. Back then, his ancestor had killed 5 golden core cultivators of the Savage Sun Palace, but he was also targeted by the Savage Sun Palace. In the end, he was besieged by the cultivators of the Savage Sun Palace and died of exhaustion. He came this time to kill all the golden core cultivators who participated in the siege of his ancestor and completely resolve the enmity between the Wang clan and the Savage Sun Palace. Over the past 500 years, some of the golden core cultivators of the Savage Sun Palace who besieged the ancestor had died in battle. Only Daoist Gold Sun and Daoist Earth Flame were left. He didn't expect that the remaining 2 enemies would escape. Most importantly, they took away all of the local specialties of the Savage Sun Palace, which was unforgivable. Although he was furious, he didn't vent his anger on these abandoned pawns. He said loudly, "Although I have a blood feud with the Savage Sun Palace, every grievance has its perpetrator and every debt has its debtor. If I want revenge, I'll look for golden core cultivators. I won't vent my anger on you." The old cultivator bowed. "Thank you, Duke, for sparing our lives." With that, he returned to the palace. A moment later, the formation was closed. He brought the old Violet Palace Realm and Foundation Establishment cultivators to the main hall to welcome Wang Daoyuan and the others. When the formation was opened, it drew away a large amount of fire spiritual energy, so he didn't feel the power of the lava river. Now that the formation was closed, he felt the power of the fire spiritual energy in the lava river. It wasn't inferior to a high-grade grade 4 spirit vein. In addition, the spiritual energy emitted by the lava river was almost inexhaustible. It was no wonder the Savage Sun Palace was once the leader of the 3 sections. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Where did Daoist Gold Sun and Daoist Earth Flame escape to?" The old cultivator respectfully replied, "I don't know. After the palace master and the others entered the escape passage, they sealed it. It said that the passage leads to the north of the mountain and the Myriad River. I don't know where they went either." This was troublesome. The passage could lead to many places, so it was impossible to determine their whereabouts. Moreover, they could be hiding in the passage. Once he led the others to another place, they could launch a sneak attack and kill the cultivators stationed here. "Take me to the escape passage." The withered cultivator brought Wang Daoyuan to the western cliff of the Sunset Valley. They entered a cave and soon arrived at a large hall. This great hall was the ancestral hall of the Cruel Sun Palace, where the golden core cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace were enshrined. However, the memorial tablet had already been taken away. The decaying cultivator opened several mechanisms, revealing the secret escape passage. The passage had already been blocked by lava, and the lava had already solidified into rock. He took out the spirit-seeking compass and measured it. A tunnel more than 500 feet deep was sealed by lava. Without the dust-returning flame, it would take a long time to crack open such a thick rock. It was also good that the passageway couldn't be opened. At least he didn't have to worry about someone sneaking through the passageway. If he wanted to know where the cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace had fled to, he could just ask Zhou Wan for help. Whether he fled to the north of the mountains or the south of the Wanchuan River, he had to show himself, didn't he? He sent a message to Zhou Wan. This place was more than 50,000 kilometers away from Jade Spring Peak, which was already the limit of the communication Jade Talisman. Any further and they would have to use the communication formation as a transit point. Fortunately, Zhou Wan received the message and replied. There were also spies of Blood Shadow among the group of cultivators taken away by the Cruel Sun Palace. Now, the cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace had already reached the territory of the Myriad Spirit Sect. Wang Daoyuan immediately told the Golden Core cultivator guarding the Netherworld sect that the cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace had escaped through the secret escape passage and might run to the Myriad Spirit Sect. Emperor Zhao might have gone somewhere, and he could not contact him. There were many legends about the Golden Crow in the Sunset Valley, and the Cruel Sun sword was said to be forged from the bones of the Golden Crow. He really wanted to explore the situation below, but unfortunately, he did not have the time now. The Cold River Pass might still be fighting with the cultivators of the Wei State. If there was no news here, the other side might not be able to hold on. He left a Golden Core cultivator of Linhai State to guard the Sunset Valley with Gu Wanzong. Most of the cultivators below the Golden Core realm also stayed here. Wang Daoyuan led the rest of the Golden Core cultivators and more than 200 cultivators of the Zhao family to the Cold River Pass. As long as they could guard the Cold River Pass, there would be no more battles north of the Wanchuan River, and they did not need too many people at the Cold River Pass. The next step was to attack the Three River Market, cross the Wanchuan River, and attack the territory of the Myriad Spirit Sect. Leaving most of the cultivators below the Golden Core realm in the Cruel Sun Palace would make it easier to attack the Three River Market. West of the Sunset County was the West Frontier County, which used to be the western border of the Zhao State. The entire West Frontier County was crisscrossed with mountains and rivers. It used to be the western barrier of the Zhao State, so it was called the West Frontier County. Later on, the Zhao family continued to expand, destroyed many small states, and attacked the Wei State many times. In the end, they seized the Cold River County and the Cold River Pass, and the function of the West Frontier County as a barrier was almost lost. The group continued to head west and soon arrived at the Cold River Pass. At this moment, a great battle was breaking out outside the Cold River Pass. Wang Daoyuan flew more than 90,000 feet high to observe the battle situation. West of the Cold River Pass, 5 Golden Core cultivators were attacking it. With the help of the array formation, the 3 Golden Core cultivators had a slight advantage. Wang Daoyuan took out the White Tiger Blade and condensed 10 sword shadows. He shouted, "Princess Qingli of the Zhao State, Wang Daoyuan, the Southern Mountain Appeasing Ambassador, is here. The Zhao Emperor's army has recovered the Cold River County, and the Wei State cultivators are retreating quickly. Otherwise, we will have to kill a few Golden Core cultivators today." The Cold River Pass had an array formation that forbade flying, and there was also a method to prevent underground escape. He did not dare to go over rashly and could only shout from here. Then, Zhong Zhenyang and the others also flew into the sky, revealing the aura of a Golden Core cultivator. Seeing that there were so many people here, the Wei State cultivators were scared out of their wits and hurriedly retreated to the Wei State camp. They did not defend the camp, but let the cultivators below the Golden Core retreat to the west. It seemed that they did not have the courage to continue fighting and were planning to retreat. Perfected Yu Yang and the other 2 also retreated to the city, and then opened the east gate of the Cold River Pass. 2 cultivators of the Zhao family came out of the city to welcome Wang Daoyuan. When they saw him, it was as if they had seen a relative. After waiting for a long time, the Duke is finally here. How is the war now? Why didn't the Zhao family's Golden Core cultivators come? Wang Daoyuan answered, the Netherworld sect has surrendered, and the Golden Sun rebels of the Cruel Sun Palace have fled with their elite disciples. As long as the Wei state is forced to retreat, there will be no more battles north of the Wanchuan River. As for the Zhao family's Golden Core cultivators, they are now following His Majesty to conquer the Thousand Spirit sect. However, I did bring some cultivators below the Golden Core realm with me this time. The flying warship landed outside the east gate of the Cold River Pass, and 200 Zhao family cultivators disembarked from the warship. The two Zhao family's Golden Core cultivators were full of smiles when they saw their juniors. When they saw Zhong Zhenyang and Gu Shanghai, the smiles on their faces disappeared. The silver-robed cultivator gritted his teeth and said, "You two old fogies are still alive. Back then, you killed many of my Zhao family's men." The two of them were so embarrassed that they could not speak. It was inevitable that such a situation would occur when surrendering to enemies. They looked at Wang Daoyuan for help, and Wang Daoyuan naturally did not want the two sides to fight. Therefore, he mediated, "Seniors, please don't be angry. Now, they have surrendered to the Zhao Emperor and killed the unrepentant Luo family cultivators. They also offered the Netherworld sect and various resources. Without them, we could only attack the Netherworld sect's mountain gate, and Zhao family would have suffered more casualties. Due to their betrayal and contribution to the city, they have been conferred the titles of Count and Viscount by His Majesty." The blue-robed cultivator said hatefully, "Since His Majesty has forgiven you, as his subjects, we naturally do not dare to say anything. Let's put this matter aside for now. County King, please enter the pass." Everyone followed the two Zhao family cultivators and the Golden Core cultivators into the pass. The Zhao family cultivators stayed in the city's barracks, while Wang Daoyuan and the other Golden Core cultivators went to the Guardian residence. After everyone took their seats, the blue-robed cultivator asked, "What are the arrangements for the Cold River Pass? Does His Majesty have any orders?" Wang Daoyuan replied, "His Majesty only said that the cultivators north of the 10,000 rivers would be under my control. He did not have any other orders. His Majesty's current location is too far away to send a message. In my opinion, the Cold River Pass is extremely important and must be guarded by absolutely reliable people. It would be safer for the two seniors to oversee this place." Chapter 626. The two Golden Core cultivators of the Zhao family wanted to go to Emperor Zhao, but they also knew that the Cold River Pass was of great importance and had to be guarded by trustworthy people. As for the cultivators of the two sects who had just surrendered, even Wang Daoyuan did not dare to completely rest assured, let alone them. Everyone stayed in the Cold River Pass for 2 days, during which they went out of the city to provoke the Golden Core cultivators of Wei State several times. The forces of Wei State hurriedly withdrew. They did not know the current situation of Zhao State and would not attack the Cold River Pass again in a short time. After this matter, Wang Daoyuan left all the cultivators of the Zhao family below the Golden Core realm in the Cold River Pass. The Golden Core cultivators were still the two from the Zhao family and perfected Yuyang. The others left the Cold River Pass and returned to the Sunset Valley. The cultivators who stayed in the Sunset Valley were not idle either. They had now found out the situation of the Three River Market. After the surrender of the Netherworld sect, the defeat of the three sects was set. The defensive value of the Three River Market was almost gone. Everyone withdrew from the Three River Market, taking away all the local specialties and destroying the defensive array formation. Without the defensive array formation, it was meaningless to take down the Three River Market. The cultivators of the Netherworld sect also reported the situation of the battle south of the river. Emperor Zhao led a group of Golden Core cultivators of the Zhao family to sweep westward from the easternmost Linchuan County. The cultivators of the Myriad Spirit sect did not dare to guard the Spirit Stone mine anymore and directly gave up on Linchuan and Longpan counties. West of Longpan County was Jinan County, and west of Jinan County was Myriad Spirit County, where the Myriad Spirit sect was located. The Myriad Spirit sect was located in the southeast of Myriad Spirit County, not far from Jinan County. Therefore, the Myriad Spirit sect did not dare to give up on Jinan County. There were many level 4 spirit veins in Jinan County. The myriad spirit sect relied on the level 4 defensive array formation to contend with the Zhao family. Now, Emperor Zhao had taken half of Jinan County and the two sides were fighting in the central part of Jinan County. Wang Daoyuan was appointed as the Southern Mountain appeasing ambassador to attack the Netherworld sect and the Cruel Sun Palace. Now that the two sects had been taken down, Wang Daoyuan could only temporarily stay in Cruel Sun Palace and send a message to Emperor Zhao to ask for instructions on the next step. During this period, Wang Daoyuan could not be idle. Under Qian Yang's lead, he came to the secret realm of the Cruel Sun Palace. The three major sects were able to hide so many golden core cultivators mainly because of the mystic realms. Otherwise, such a huge commotion during the golden core heavenly tribulation would not have been hidden from others. Wang Daoyuan had entered the Netherworld sect's mystic realm before. It was a relatively small mystic realm, with a diameter of only about 20 miles. There was only a 4th-tier low-grade attributeless spirit vein and a 3rd-tier high-grade Yin vein. Both were very small and could barely support the tribulation of a golden core cultivator. Because it was a special place for tribulation transcendence, there were no local specialties. The scale of the mystic realm of the Cruel Sun Palace was much larger, with a diameter of 100 miles. In the middle of the secret realm was a huge lava lake, and the edges of the lake were rocks formed by the solidified lava. The spiritual energy in the lava was also extremely rich, reaching the level of the middle grade of the 4th stage. Within the lava lake, there was a low-grade Tier 4 earth fire. This earth fire was the core of the lava secret realm. Once it was taken away, the lava secret realm would collapse. Earth fire was the most common type of spiritual fire. It was mainly of the fire attribute and was supplemented by the earth attribute. Wang Daoyuan only looked at it and did not touch it. After all, the Cruel Sun Palace had already surrendered, so it was considered Emperor Zhao's property. No one would say anything if he took some local specialties, but if he destroyed the mystic realm, it would be a big deal. Moreover, he did not lack this earth fire. Qian Yang took out a yin and yang ring from his cave and cupped his hands to Wang Daoyuan. Your Highness, although my hands are not stained with the blood of the Zhao family, I am still from the Cruel Sun Palace. In the future, I will most likely be bullied in the state of Zhao, so I want to earn a living under you. When your Majesty quells the rebellion and rewards the meritorious officials, I hope your Highness can put in a good word for me and set my fief in the Qingli commandery. Even if it is in the cold north of the mountains, it will be fine. Wang Daoyuan smiled. That is easy. I can only say a few good words. I cannot decide what your Majesty decides. Qian Yang's face was full of excitement. It is good that your Highness can speak for me. Here are some local specialties of the Cruel Sun Palace. Please accept them. Wang Daoyuan liked local specialties the most. Naturally, he would not refuse and accepted the yin and yang ring. The space was not small, about 300 square feet. There were several kinds of 3rd and 4th level refining materials commonly seen in lava, as well as a small number of animal skin books and jade slips. It should be the inheritance of the Cruel Sun Palace. Wang Daoyuan was very satisfied with these local specialties. After leaving the mystic realm, he soon received a message from Zhou Wan. The Thousand Spirits sect sent people to Wuxia Pass to contact the state of Song. It was most likely that they intended to surrender to the state of Song. Wang Daoyuan had expected this. Song Yan was a guy who took advantage of every opportunity. When the state of Song took Wuxia Pass, the state of Song suffered a great loss. However, those who died were all golden core cultivators of the subsidiary forces. The Song family did not suffer any casualties. Although the state of Zhao had been fighting for many years and had consumed a lot of resources, it was much better than the state of Zhao being washed by the flames of war. Therefore, the possibility of the state of Song joining in was not small. With the current strength of the state of Zhao, even if the state of Song sent all its forces, it would not be able to swallow the entire state of Zhao. Moreover, Qi, Chu and Wu were waiting to take advantage of the situation. The state of Song did not dare to make such a big move. At most, they could ask the Thousand Spirits sect to surrender and take over the entire Wuxia County. The entry of the state of Song would be beneficial to the Wang family. Song Yan was messing around in the south to relieve the boredom of the Zhao family. However, most of the golden core cultivators of the Zhao family were old. In the next 200 years, the number of golden core cultivators of the Zhao family would decrease. The Zhao emperor would have to rely more on golden core cultivators of other surnames. The Wang family was the leader of the foreign forces. The Zhao family did not dare to act rashly. However, they could not let the state of Song enter the hinterland of the state of Zhao. The Thousand Spirit sect still controlled the entire Thousand Spirit County, the almost complete Wuxia County, and half of Jinan County. The original territory of the state of Song was equivalent to 5 counties of the state of Zhao. If the Thousand Spirit sect surrendered to the state of Song now, the state of Song would have 2.5 counties. In this way, the state of Zhao would not have much of a territorial advantage over the state of Song. The state of Zhao would go downhill in the future, while the state of Song would rise. After 100 or 200 years, it would be hard to say who would be stronger. Wang Daoyuan hoped that the Zhao family would not have the time to attack, but he did not want the state of Song to invade. After hearing the news, Wang Daoyuan planned to go south immediately to attack the Thousand Spirit County. To the south of the Sunset County was the Thousand Spirit County. He did not plan to take over the Thousand Spirit sect. He only hoped to take over more territory in the Thousand Spirit County. This was to prevent the state of Song from becoming too strong in the future and threatening the stability of the northern part of the state of Zhao. At the Sunset Valley, only Gu Wangzong and a few cultivators below the golden core level were left to guard it. Wang Daoyuan led 6 golden core cultivators and most of the cultivators below the golden core level to the south. He did not care about logistics for this battle. He just wanted to fight with speed. Most of the golden core cultivators of the Thousand Spirits sect were pinned down by the Zhao emperor in Jinan County. The rest had to guard the mountain gate and important properties. To deal with the state of Song, they had to send powerful late-stage golden core cultivators. They could not spare any manpower to guard against Wang Daoyuan and the others. As long as they could advance fast enough, they could take over half of the Thousand Spirit County. The properties and spirit veins they encountered along the way were not guarded by golden core cultivators. Zhong Yaoting and Gu Shanghai could easily take over spirit veins below level 4 with a few level 3 flying warships. Even places with level 4 spirit veins could not withstand Wang Daoyuan and the other late-stage golden core cultivators. In just 5 days, Wang Daoyuan took over 70% of the Thousand Spirit sect's territory. He advanced to the Fulong Mountain, which was more than 3,000 miles north of the Thousand Spirit sect. The Fulong Mountain stretched for more than 5,000 miles from west to east. There was a large-scale level 4 spirit vein and a level 4 defensive array. This was also the last barrier of the Thousand Spirit sect. As long as they took over the Fulong Mountain, they could use it as a springboard to threaten the Thousand Spirit sect at any time. Wang Daoyuan had the army camp 500 miles north of the Fulong Mountain, on a small mountain with a level 3 spirit vein. He led the golden core cultivators to spy on the Fulong Mountain. Just as they were 50 miles north of the Fulong Mountain, they heard a voice filled with hatred. "Duke Qingli, how have you been?" Wang Daoyuan was shocked. The person who spoke was no stranger to him. It was the emperor of the state of Song, Song Yan. Chapter 627. Song Yan flew out of Mount Fulong and stood 100 li south of Wang Daoyuan. If this fellow could come to Mount Fulong, it meant that the Myriad Spirit sect and the Song nation had come to an agreement. It was still unknown how many golden core cultivators the Song nation had. Wang Daoyuan had taken 2/3 of Myriad Spirit County's territory. As he continued to advance, the Myriad Spirit sect was afraid of being surrounded. Hence, they gave up on the northwest, leaving only the southwest in the Myriad Spirit sect's hands. Currently, the Myriad Spirit sect only had 1.5 counties. If the Song nation obtained these territories, it would be enough to annoy the Zhao emperor. However, it was not enough to reverse the difference in strength. To Wang Daoyuan, this result was acceptable. It did not matter whether he took Mount Fulong or not. Wang Daoyuan replied, "Why did the Song Emperor come to my Zhao nation's territory? Is the nephew rebelling against the uncle?" Song Yan's mother was the daughter of Emperor Lai of Zhao, the elder sister of the Zhao Emperor. Song Yan laughed coldly. "The myriad spirit sect and the cruel Sun Palace have already surrendered to my Song nation. The territories of the two sects should belong to my Song nation. The county king has overstepped his boundaries. Please leave the Song nation's territory." This fellow's tone was a little arrogant. He wanted to take the territories of the myriad spirit sect and the cruel Sun Palace. He even used the fact that the two sects had surrendered to the Song nation as an excuse. Wang Daoyuan mocked, "I remember that when the Song Emperor attacked the Zhao nation, you used the excuse of taking revenge for your grandfather. Since that is the case, the three sects should be rebels. Now that the myriad spirit sect and the cruel Sun Palace have surrendered to the Song nation, why don't you take revenge for your grandfather? Using the excuse of taking revenge for your grandfather, you brought your grandfather's enemies to snatch your uncle's territory. The Song Emperor is truly filial." When he said this, he intentionally used his spiritual sense and spiritual qi. With the strength of a golden core cultivator, it was not a problem for his voice to travel 1,000 li. If Wang Daoyuan's words were true, Song Yan's reputation would be ruined. Reputation or prestige might seem useless in normal times, but it could be very useful at critical times. A loose cultivator could not care less, but the leader of a faction could not. Just like before, when the sixth prince led the Zhao family to revolt, the three sects holed up in their mountain gates and important industries. The other places were occupied by the sixth prince's men, but the Wang family and the old families of the Zhao state did not take the initiative to surrender. It was because the sixth prince's reputation was so bad that he didn't even dare to fight the person who killed his father. He just watched as his elder brother was killed. If the Song Emperor used the excuse of avenging his grandfather's death to fight for the inheritance with his own uncle, his reputation would be worse than the sixth prince's. The sixth prince could be said to be incompetent and trash, but Emperor Song could be said to be disgraceful. Song Guo was rendered speechless by Wang Daoyuan's rebuke. Naturally, his subordinates could not just stand by and watch. Another golden core cultivator flew out from Mount Fulong and scolded, "You yellow-mouthed brat, your Wang family first acknowledged a traitor as your father and joined the enemy, the underworld sect. Then, you betrayed us and killed the sect master of the underworld sect. How dare such a person who has neither a monarch nor a father insult our emperor?" Hearing this, the embarrassment on Song Yan's face receded. Looking at the cultivator who had just arrived, he nodded in satisfaction. Wang Daoyuan sneered, "Our ancestor died at the hands of the savage Sun Palace. Our Wang family was forced to surrender to the underworld sect. This can't be considered acknowledging a traitor as our father. Moreover, our ancestor is loyal to the first prince. When the three sects attacked, our ancestor also went to help. After the first prince died, he handed the matter to the emperor. Our ancestor should continue to be loyal to the emperor. Our Wang family joining the underworld sect was only a temporary measure. More than 100 years ago, we secretly protected the first prince's eldest grandson, Zhao Liang. From the beginning to the end, our Wang family was loyal to the Zhao family. As for the Song Emperor, he accepted the person who killed his grandfather and seized his uncle's inheritance. Was it because he had no other choice, or was it a temporary measure? The Song Emperor repeatedly led an unjust army and clashed with his uncle. Although the country is big, it is doomed to war. If this continues, the Song state will be in danger of being destroyed. This time, the Song Emperor and his subordinates had nothing to say. What they did was not right. With Wang Daoyuan grasping their weakness, they had no way to argue. The Song Emperor's face turned ashen. He clenched his fists as if he was about to attack at any moment. However, he held himself back and returned to Mount Fulong angrily. Wang Daoyuan also brought the golden core cultivators back to the mountain where they were temporarily stationed. He reported the matter of the Song state's interference to Emperor Zhao so that he could make preparations to avoid being ambushed by the Song state cultivators. There was no way to attack Mount Fulong. There was a permanent rank 4 array formation defending it and a golden core cultivator overseeing it. With the number of people he had, it was impossible to take it down. Emperor Zhao's strength was not enough to destroy the myriad spirit sect. There was an 80% chance that he would have to negotiate later. During the negotiation process, it was inevitable that there would be fighting and stopping. He needed to make preparations early. This small mountain with a rank 3 spirit vein was not enough to deal with future battles. 150 kilometers northeast of the small mountain, there was a tall mountain. The mountain curved like a crescent moon, hence the name Mount Fulong. There was a rank 4 spirit vein and a rank 4 defensive array on the mountain. Wang Daoyuan moved his men there and made long-term plans. After arranging these affairs, Emperor Zhao also sent a letter to him, telling him to first defend the territory they had conquered. He had to maintain pressure on Mount Fulong and delay the Song State cultivators. This place was too far from Jade Spring Peak. He could not receive Zhou Wan's message. He could only release the soul-chasing bees to scout the surroundings. A golden core cultivator's spiritual sense could cover no more than 150 kilometers. The soul-chasing bees could still escape if they hid a little. More than 2,000 soul-chasing bees spread out in all directions to scout for information. This was to prevent someone from sneaking behind him and cutting off his escape route. In the following days, Wang Daoyuan brought Zhong Zhenyang and Gu Qingfeng around Mount Fulong when he had nothing to do. At the same time, he attacked the Song Emperor personally and mentally. The battle on Emperor Zhao's side was still ongoing. The myriad spirit sect only defended the few mountains with rank 4 spirit veins. For now, they did not know how many golden core cultivators came from the Song state. Emperor Zhao did not dare to be too rash. On the other hand, the sixth prince was extremely valiant, unlike when he was dealing with Zhong Zhenyang. Now, he was at the forefront of every battle and was injured many times. After receiving the news, Wang Daoyuan was very surprised. There were indeed people who changed their temperament because of major changes. However, he did not believe that a coward like the sixth prince would have such courage. Half a month later, the Song state cultivators started to participate in the battle on Emperor Zhao's side. The sixth prince even injured a Song state golden core cultivator. In the next few days, the sixth prince was still very valiant, continuously injuring Song state cultivators. After injuring a few golden core cultivators, the Song state did not retreat. Instead, they increased their manpower. In the end, they started to counterattack Emperor Zhao. In order to help share the pressure, Wang Daoyuan also led the golden core cultivators under him to attack the defensive array of Mount Fulong. There were still golden core cultivators guarding Mount Fulong. Wang Daoyuan even injured Emperor Zhao's mind. However, Emperor Zhao did not show himself. The battle on Emperor Zhao's side lasted for a day. In the end, the Song state cultivators were not as strong as the Zhao state cultivators. In the end, they could not hold on and had to retreat. The sixth prince was brave and invincible. He took the lead and chased them into the defensive formation of the Thousand Spirits sect without any obstruction. After receiving this news, Wang Daoyuan felt some admiration for the sixth prince. He really did not expect that the sixth prince, this idiot, would be able to do such a thing. It turned out that the reason he acted so valiantly before was to make Emperor Zhao feel at ease and find an opportunity to betray him. The next day, the sixth prince announced his ascension to the throne at Myriad Spirit Sect's gate. In the Ascension Edict, he criticized the ninth prince for bribing Zhao Jinghua and the other Zhao family members to force him to abdicate. After the ninth prince seized the throne, he was only given the title of Marquis and humiliated in every possible way. Fortunately, his nephew and son-in-law, Song Yan, came to his rescue. Even the cultivators of Myriad Spirit Sect and Savage Sun Palace could not stand the ninth prince's atrocities. They decided to abandon the darkness and join the light, assisting the sixth prince to restore the state. The edict also praised Song Yan's filial piety, which made Wang Daoyuan feel disgusted. To put it bluntly, wasn't this just a signboard for Song Yan? If the ninth prince restored the state and proclaimed himself emperor, Song Yan would have no reason to attack the state of Zhao. He would use the sixth prince as a signboard and say that he was helping his father-in-law restore the state. The sixth prince obtained the empty title of emperor while Song Yan obtained the benefits of territory. The sixth prince was still as stupid as before to lead an outsider to attack his own territory. Chapter 628. The sixth prince's act of proclaiming himself emperor was no different from playing with a monkey, but it was quite attractive to those with uncertain attitudes. For example, the Luo family cultivators who redeemed themselves with merit might really throw in their lot with the sixth prince. Back then, there were still many people who supported the sixth prince. More than half of the Zhao family members under the Zhao emperor supported the sixth prince. There were also many small powers, such as the Beiyuan sword sect, who were the sixth prince's hardcore supporters. The majority of the Jindan and below cultivators led by Wang Daoyuan were nurtured by the Beiyuan sword sect. Among them, those with weak willpower or those with wild ambitions might throw in their lot with the Beiyuan sword sect. The Zhao emperor was stationed at Nanli Mountain in the south of Jinan County. There was a middle-grade fourth-grade non-attributed spirit vein here. 2,000 li southwest of Nanli Mountain was the hidden Dragon Mountain guarded by the Song country and Thousand Spirit sect cultivators. The sixth prince sent a declaration to the Zhao emperor, ordering the ninth prince to immediately abdicate and return the power to him. As for the other Zhao family members, those who abandoned the dark side and joined the light side would be forgiven. Those who stubbornly resisted would be executed without mercy. When the declaration came, the Zhao family cultivators all cursed him. Previously, he was cowardly and incompetent, which could only be considered a flaw in his character. Now, he colluded with the Song emperor and joined forces with the enemy who killed his father to attack his own brother. This was no longer a problem of a flaw in his character, but rather a heinous crime. Zhao Jinghua bowed to the Zhao emperor. "Your Majesty, as a minister, I have the responsibility of disciplining my family members. For such a scum to appear in my family, it is my dereliction of duty. Your Majesty, please punish me." The Zhao emperor waved his hand. "As the emperor, I have the responsibility of educating the people. For such a thing to happen, my responsibility is even greater. Now is not the time to blame." Song Yan used sixth brother's name to unite with Thousand Spirit sect and Cruel Sun Palace to bring disaster to the south. If we can't control him, the Zhao country will probably never have peace. Duke Linhai angrily said, "Expel him from the Zhao family and leave none of his descendants." The Zhao emperor shook his head. After the Three Sects rebellion, the Zhao family bloodline is already small enough. He doesn't care about his descendants, but I can't bear to fight with them. Zhao Jingbang with a face full of wrinkles said, "Your Majesty is benevolent, but there is no need to be so magnanimous. Ling Tian, this brat, is a coward who is lustful and greedy for power. He was just an ingrate. No matter how well she treated him, it was useless. I have been in the Song kingdom for hundreds of years and know Song Yan very well. This brat was like a hungry wolf. As long as he tasted a little sweetness, he would keep chasing and biting. The only way to make him behave was to break his bones so that he wouldn't have any hope of making a comeback. The number of golden core cultivators in the Song clan was too few. In order to destroy his ambition, it would be best to kill a few more of them. Let him not have enough resources to maintain stability, and let the Song kingdom return to its state of disunity. Emperor Zhao nodded his head. What Imperial Uncle said is reasonable. When the war starts, try your best to kill the Song clan's Jindan cultivators. Everyone agreed in unison. Zhao Jinghua cupped his hands and said, "Your Majesty, since we want to kill the Song family's golden core stage cultivator, then we will need a top expert to act." There were no particularly strong masters in the kingdom of Song. Only Song Yan's strength was not to be underestimated. He should be about the same as that bastard Zhao Lingtian. In addition to the Imperial Dragon Rebel, there were 3 peak experts. There was also the Dark Nether Rebel. He had the Dark Water Black Turtle. Even outside the water, his strength should be above Ling Jiang. However, the Dark Water Black Turtle's offensive power was not strong. Ling Jiang could barely stall the Dark Nether Rebel. We only have His Majesty and me, 2 peak experts. Facing the enemy's 3 peak experts, it would be difficult to kill them. In my opinion, we should transfer Duke Qingli and Zhong Zhenyang over. Once the Duke uses his minor divine ability and the Golden Crow, his strength will surpass that of Daoist Master Xianming. Last time, Zhong Zhenyang only used his minor divine ability to escape at the 9 Depths mysterious crystal vein. His strength should not be below that of Daoist Master Yulong. We should transfer them over so that we can kill the Song clan's Jindan cultivators. Emperor Zhao pondered for a moment. What Imperial Uncle said is reasonable. Duke Linhai, go to Lanhua Mountain and ask Duke Qingli and Zhong Zhenyang to come over. You will temporarily guard Lanhua Mountain and prevent the enemy from threatening the Zhao Kingdom's hinterland. Duke Linhai cupped his hands in acknowledgement and left Nanli Mountain. When he arrived at Lanhua Mountain, he conveyed Emperor Zhao's decree to Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang. The two didn't waste any time. After explaining the matters of Lanhua Mountain, they concealed themselves and rushed to Nanli Mountain. When they arrived in front of Emperor Zhao, the two bowed. Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang greet His Majesty. Emperor Zhao nodded. You may rise. Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang thanked him in unison. Emperor Zhao asked, I have discussed with everyone. If we want to defeat the enemy, we must first break their alliance. The Thousand Spirits sect and the Cruel Sun Palace have no way out and will fight to the death. If we want to break them, we must beat Song Yan into submission. This will require us to kill a few Song clan's Jindan cultivators. The rebel army has Zhao Lingtian, Daoist Master Yulong, and Song Yan, 3 peak experts. There is also Daoist Master Xianming, who is slightly weaker. I wonder if you two are strong enough to deal with these 4? Zhong Zhenyang didn't dare to interrupt. Wang Daoyuan answered first. Your Majesty, among these 4, I have only seen Minister Zong fight with Daoist Master Yulong. Even if I use all my strength, I won't be able to defeat him. Zhong Zhenyang continued. I know a thing or two about the strength of the 4 and the County King. In my opinion, the County King should be slightly weaker than the peak experts. Outside of the water, he can defeat Daoist Master Xianming. The Zhao clan's techniques and spells can somewhat restrain me. Therefore, I don't have the confidence to deal with the 6th prince. But against Song Yan and Daoist Master Yulong, I won't be at a disadvantage. Zhao Jinghua smiled. That bastard Zhao Lingtian is as timid as a mouse. He won't dare to fight. Your Majesty and Emperor Zhao are the rulers of a country and shouldn't act rashly. In the beginning, the enemy will only send Daoist Master Yulong and Daoist Master Xianming. I can deal with Daoist Master Yulong and Lingjiang can also deal with Daoist Master Xianming. The County King and fellow Daoist Zhong are very fast in killing the enemies. They can kill the Song cultivators as soon as possible. No one had any objections. They wanted to make some preparations and attack the rest of the Hidden Dragon Mountain. Unexpectedly, the 6th prince took the initiative to attack. The group left the Hidden Dragon Mountain and headed for Nanli Mountain. Emperor Zhao naturally wouldn't let go of the benefits that came to him. He led the cultivators outside the mountain. Of course, Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang didn't show up directly. They hid 300 miles north of Nanli Mountain. When they came to Nanli Mountain, they hid their figures. The Song Emperor shouldn't know that they were here. Their concealment techniques were very good. At this distance, Golden Core cultivators would have a hard time discovering them. Soon, a large cloud flew over from the southwest. The Song Emperor and the 6th prince both wore ceremonial robes and crowns. Daoist Master Yulong, Daoist Master Xianming, Daoist Master Earthflame, and 4 late-stage Golden Core cultivators of Song stood beside them. The 6th prince spoke first. 500 years ago, the 3 sects rebelled and attacked the country. Before my father died, he ordered Zhao Jinghua to give me the seal of mountains and rivers. This is to pass on the throne to me. You actually disobeyed the late emperor's edict and forced me to abdicate. This is a treacherous act. As the saying goes, a just cause enjoys abundant support, while an unjust cause finds little support. I am the legitimate emperor of Zhao State, a monarch of the Tao. First, the Song Emperor helped me wipe out the rebels. Later, the cultivators of the myriad spirit sect and the cruel Sun Palace repented and were willing to be my vanguard. If you still think that you are a descendant of the Zhao clan, kneel and surrender. I'll spare your lives for the sake of the bloodline of the Zhao clan. Looking at his smug face, Zhao Jingwa couldn't suppress his anger and cursed, "You bastard who betrayed your ancestors. You're just a stray dog, yet you still dare to bark in front of His Majesty. If you surrender now and follow me to the ancestral spirit, I'll still recognize you as a descendant of the Zhao clan. If you still refuse to come to your senses, I'll expel you from the Zhao clan, you vile spawn." After saying that, a blue sword phantom condensed in his hand. Daoist Master Yulong flew over on a cloud and angrily rebuked, "You dare to insult His Majesty, you traitor? I'll take you down and tie you to His Majesty to beg for forgiveness." Daoist Master Yulong's hands were stained with the blood of the Zhao clan. Now, he even boasted that he was a loyal subject of the Zhao clan and called Zhao Jingwa a traitor. Chapter 629. Zhao Jingwa didn't have a good temper. The sword in his hand flew out and pointed at Yulong Jinren. Yulong Jinren and his flood dragon weren't as strong as Zhao Jingwa, but they weren't easy to take down. His flood dragon flew out, its two horns flashing with blue light. He also shot out a blue dragon's shadow to block the sword. In an instant, the blue light and the dragon's shadow were cut apart by the sword's shadow. At the same time, the sword's shadow became extremely dim. Yulong Jinren had to use his blue sword to cut the sword's shadow. Zhao Jingwa had the upper hand in this move, but Yulong Jinren wasn't at a great disadvantage. Zhao Lingjiang came out of the array and shouted, "Zhao Lingtian, you bastard, do you dare to fight me?" Xianming came out of the array and shouted angrily, "Why does His Majesty need to deal with a traitor like you?" Then, he summoned the underworld water black turtle and fought with Zhao Lingjiang. Zhao Jingbang came out of the array and shouted, "Song Yan, Zhao Lingtian, you two little bastards, which one of you wants to die?" Song Yan glanced at him and said to the cultivator beside him, "This old thing has been in song for more than 500 years. I know his strength. He can also use the blooming water thunder sword. Although he's not as strong as Zhao Jingwa, he should be about the same as Zhao Lingjiang. Ordinary late-stage Golden Core Realm cultivators aren't his match. Be careful." The two Golden Core Realm cultivators of Song were about to attack when Earth Flame Jinren said with a smile, "Even if it's Zhao Lingjiang, it's no big deal. I can deal with him with my strength." Then, he flew forward and fought with Zhao Jingbang. Earth Flame Jinren was slightly weaker, but he could hold on with his strong body. Then, Shi Zhizhong came out of the array and shouted, "Come up if you're not afraid of death." The Shi family was a branch of the Zhou family. Although they didn't have much of the Zhou family's inheritance, the quality was excellent. Shi Zhizhong's strength was definitely strong among the late-stage Golden Core Realm cultivators. Even if he wasn't as strong as Zhao Lingjiang, he was slightly stronger than Lord Lin Hai. It wouldn't be a problem for him to fight two ordinary late-stage Golden Core Realm cultivators. The sixth prince said to Song Yan, "This person is a branch of the Zhou family. His cultivation and magic arts aren't weak." Even though Shi Zhizhong wasn't considered a stunning talent, his strength was still very strong. Except for you and me, the other force. In order to act as a puppet emperor, the sixth prince leaked information about the cultivators of the state of Zhao. Song Yan nodded and sent out two Golden Core cultivators from the state of Song. These two Golden Core cultivators from the state of Song were not cultivators from the Song clan. Even if they died, he would not feel any heartache. As for the remaining two, they were both from the Song clan. He wasn't willing to take them out so easily. Zhao Lingshu came out to provoke them. His strength was about the same as Lord Lin Hai's. He could fight a man and a beast from the Thousand Spirits sect, but he couldn't defeat two ordinary cultivators in the late stage of the Golden Core realm. Only then did Song Yan feel at ease and allow the cultivators from his own family to attack. The last two cultivators from Song country attacked Zhao Lingshu together. Only Zhao Lingyan and Wu Mingjue remained by Emperor Zhao's side. Their strength was at the late gold core stage. If they fought, the two of them together wouldn't be enough for Song Yan or the long-legged prince to practice with, so they wouldn't ask for humiliation. Even though the strength of both sides was different, there wasn't much of a difference in strength. Zhao Jinghua, Shi Zhizhong, and Zhao Jingbang had the upper hand. Although Zhao Lingjiang was at a disadvantage, he would not be defeated for a while. Only Zhao Lingshu was suppressed by the two cultivators from the Song clan. Although these two were not very strong, the Song country's royal family had a legacy of 10,000 years. The might of their various dharma spells was still pretty good. Zhao Lingshu could not hold on for much longer, so he stopped fighting. Relying on the Zhao clan's stronger escape techniques, he slowly fled to the north of Nanli Mountain. When Golden Core cultivators fought, it was impossible for them to stay in one place. They could even fight for several thousand kilometers. Song Yan and the others did not find it strange. 150 kilometers north of Nanli Mountain, Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang concealed themselves, waiting for Zhao Lingshu to bring them over. Wang Daoyuan wore the black demon robe and executed the devil concealment art. As long as he didn't expose himself, his opponents wouldn't be able to discover him even if they passed by him. Zhong Zhenyang naturally didn't need to be mentioned. Evil cultivators were the best at playing dirty. The combat strength of a late-stage Golden Core cultivator could be divided into 4 levels according to whether they had the ability to kill. Those who could kill late-stage Golden Core cultivators in a head-on confrontation were third-rate experts. Those who could kill third-rate experts in a head-on confrontation were second-rate experts. Those who could kill second-rate experts in a head-on confrontation were first-rate experts. Emperor Zhao, Song Yan, Venerable Yulong, Zhong Zhenyang, and the others could be called first-rate experts. Zhao Jinghua was at the top of the first-rate experts. Zhao Lingjiang and Venerable Earthflame were second-rate experts. Venerable Xianming, who had left the water region, was at the top of the second-rate experts. Wang Daoyuan and Redwing Crow were slightly stronger than Venerable Xianming, but they couldn't kill second-rate experts in a head-on confrontation. They could only be at the top of the second-rate experts. Lord Linhai and Shi Zhizhong were third-rate experts. Zhong Zhenyang was a true first-rate expert. When he used his full strength, he could even suppress Venerable Yulong. However, he was restrained by the Zhao clan's legacy and was slightly weaker than Zhao Jinghua. Zhao Lingshu, who was slowly approaching Wang Daoyuan, was also a third-rate expert. The two late-stage Golden Core cultivators of the Song clan were just not first-rate Golden Core cultivators. Wang Daoyuan, Zhong Zhenyang, and Zhao Lingshu would ambush the two second-rate experts. If the two of them didn't have extremely strong life-saving methods, they wouldn't be able to escape. Half an hour later, Zhao Lingshu brought the two Song clan's Golden Core cultivators to a spot more than 10 miles away from Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang. To a late Golden Core cultivator, this distance was nothing at all. Wang Daoyuan used the Black Tortoise Purgatory and instantly trapped the two Song clan's Golden Core cultivators. Song Yan and the sixth prince woke up from their daze and immediately flew towards Wang Daoyuan. However, it was impossible to cover a distance of 300 miles in an instant, no matter how fast they were. Not to mention, Zhong Zhenyang was guarding at the side. It was useless for him to come over. It wouldn't take much effort for Wang Daoyuan and Zhao Lingshu to kill the two second-rate Golden Core cultivators. Even if the two of them attacked together, they wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. The two Song clan's Golden Core cultivators started attacking the Black Tortoise Purgatory. The Song clan's legacy was still quite strong. Although they were late-stage Golden Core cultivators, they were still stronger than Luo Jiuyo. Although the Black Tortoise Purgatory was strengthened, it wasn't strong enough to trap the two of them. Under their attacks, the Black Tortoise Purgatory was on the verge of collapse. Wang Daoyuan took out the White Tiger Blade and summoned 10 sword shadows to attack the Black Tortoise Purgatory. Only he could pass through the Black Tortoise Purgatory with his own methods. Zhong Zhenyang couldn't directly attack the cultivators in the Black Tortoise Purgatory, so he condensed a ball of black smoke and surrounded the Black Tortoise Purgatory. The two Song clan's golden core cultivators had just used their full strength when the black tortoise purgatory was about to be breached. 10 white tiger blade shadows passed through the black tortoise purgatory's water wall and slashed across the neck of one of the Song clan's golden core cultivators. This person had a defensive spell on his body, and he also had a life-saving technique on him. However, in front of the 10 sword shadows, he didn't even last a breath's time before his defenses were breached. As the sword shadows slashed across, his head was separated from his body. However, in less than a breath's time, they still breached the black tortoise purgatory. The remaining cultivators shouted angrily, "Wang Daoyuan, you dared to kill a Song clan's golden core cultivator. I'll make you pay with your life." After saying that, he withdrew all his spiritual power back into his dantian and prepared to detonate his golden core. Zhong Zhenyang had a disdainful expression on his face. The black smoke he released earlier enveloped this person. This person's spiritual power started to leak out. Since he couldn't detonate his golden core, he started to struggle violently. Zhong Zhenyang said disdainfully, "With such little strength, you still dare to detonate your golden core in front of me?" At this moment, Emperor Song was already flying over. Wang Daoyuan controlled the 10 sword shadows and attacked the Song clan's golden core cultivator. Zhao Lingxiu also used the Gui water divine lightning and attacked him. The Song clan's golden core cultivator soon died. Seeing two late-stage golden core cultivators die in front of him, Song Yan was inconsolable. He shouted angrily, "You dared to kill my Song clan's golden core cultivators. I'll definitely kill the three of you in the future." Although he shouted very fiercely, his mind was still very clear. When facing Wang Daoyuan and the other two, even a first-rate expert could only run for his life. Seeing that his clansmen were already dead, he no longer advanced and turned around to return to the sixth prince's side. Emperor Zhao's side had dispatched more people. If they continued fighting, Song Yan's side would suffer even greater losses. As such, he ordered everyone to retreat. Chapter 630. Song Yan wanted to retreat, but Zhao wouldn't let them leave so easily. The cultivators of Thousand Spirits Sect and Cruel Sun Palace were both first and second-rate experts. It would be difficult to kill them. However, the remaining two golden core cultivators of Song were only mediocre. Wang Daoyuan and Zhong Zhenyang had no one to restrain them. Both of them were good at sneak attacks. Without needing to discuss through voice transmission, the two of them concealed themselves and attacked the two golden core cultivators of Song that Shi Zhizhong was dealing with. Seeing the two of them disappear, Song Yan and the sixth prince panicked. The others didn't know what to do. Song Yan scanned with his spiritual sense for a long time but couldn't find where they were. Wang Daoyuan was wearing the black demon robe. Even a half-step Yuanying wouldn't be able to detect him. Zhong Zhenyang's concealment technique wasn't simple either. From 200 to 300 miles away, cultivators of the same level would find it difficult to see him. Song Yan only discovered Zhong Zhenyang's figure when the two of them were only 25 miles away from Shi Zhizhong. However, the two Song cultivators were suppressed by Shi Zhizhong. It was impossible for them to escape from Zhong Zhenyang's hands. When the state of Song attacked Wuxia Pass, all the hidden cultivators were sent out. Only 20 Golden Core Realm cultivators were sent out. When they fought the three sects, they lost 5. Just now, 2 of their own had died. Now, there were only 13 Golden Core cultivators left. If they lost another 2, Song would only be able to protect itself. They wouldn't be able to interfere with Zhao's affairs. Song Yan didn't hesitate. He transformed into a silver-feathered mystic bird and flew toward Zhong Zhenyang. However, he still couldn't find Wang Daoyuan's whereabouts. Zhong Zhenyang knew that he had been exposed and had no intention of hiding. He condensed a ball of black fog. Black ghost heads of different shapes flew out of the fog and attacked Song Yan. Song Yan didn't dare to be careless against a first-rate expert. The silver-feathered mystic bird's wings slashed out rays of silver light to attack the ghost heads. Shi Zhizhong was dealing with 2 golden core cultivators. One was a white-haired old man and the other was a burly middle-aged man. The old golden core cultivator was stronger. After killing him, it was easier to pursue the other. Soon, Wang Daoyuan arrived beside Shi Zhizhong. He transmitted his spiritual sense to Shi Zhizhong, telling him to attack the old man. Shi Zhizhong waved his hand and unleashed a wave of flames towards the old cultivator. This attack was not particularly brilliant and the old cultivator did not dodge. Instead, the sword in his hand shone brightly and slashed at the wave of flames. The moment he made his move, a long sword with monstrous killing intent suddenly appeared behind him. The long sword instantly slashed down, separating the old cultivator's head from his body. The middle-aged golden core cultivator from the kingdom of Song was scared out of his wits. He immediately burned his blood essence and fled towards the west. Wang Daoyuan and Shi Zhizhong were just about to give chase when two blooming water divine thunder flew over. This was the sixth prince's move. Wang Daoyuan summoned 10 sword shadows, welcoming the 10th water divine thunder. There was no harm in taking the attack of a first-rate master head-on. But Shi Zhizhong was almost killed. This strike was enough to seriously injure him. At this moment, Emperor Zhao also attacked, striking out with a blooming water divine lightning. After a breath, 2 muffled sounds could be heard. Wang Daoyuan's 10 sword shadows were broken into 7, only then was he able to block the 10th water divine thunder. Emperor Zhao's blooming water divine thunder was equal to that of the 6th prince. The blue spiritual power storm swept over an area of 100 li cultivators below the golden core stage would undoubtedly die if they encountered this spiritual power storm. Early golden core stage cultivators would also lose a layer of skin. Everyone present was a late golden core stage cultivator. Even if they were golden core stage cultivators, they would not be injured by the aftermath. The middle-aged cultivator from the kingdom of Song also took this opportunity to flee for nearly 100 li. It would not be easy to pursue him again. The other cultivators were intimidated by the might of the blooming water divine thunder. At the same time, they were also frightened by Wang Daoyuan's concealment method. They did not dare to continue fighting and retreated towards the west. The strength of those who fought with them was not too different. They simply could not keep them here. The kingdom of Song was defeated and they could no longer pursue. Both sides returned to their respective homes. Trivial matters such as cleaning up the battlefield were left to those low-level cultivators. Everyone returned to Nanli Mountain while talking and laughing. Soon, several Zifu disciples from the Zhao family carried the corpses of the 3 golden core stage cultivators to the hall. The rule of the battlefield was to obtain resources by killing the enemy cultivators. Those who participated in the battle were entitled to a share of the spoils. Wang Daoyuan had participated in the killing of the 3 golden core stage cultivators. Of the 3, Wang Daoyuan was the main participant in 2 of them. Naturally, he received the most resources. The 3 had come to the kingdom of Zhao to fight, so the things they brought with them were relatively simple. They were nothing more than medicinal pills for healing, spiritual power, and spiritual sense recovery. There were also a few 4th-grade magic tools. Wang Daoyuan distributed the medicinal pills for healing and spiritual power recovery to the others. He kept the medicinal pills for spiritual sense recovery and the 4th-grade magic tools. In total, he obtained 25 high-grade 3rd-grade soul awakening pills, 3 high-grade 4th-grade defensive magic tools, 1 mid-grade 4th-grade defensive magic tool, and 1 high-grade 4th-grade long sword. The 3 golden core stage cultivators' lifebound magic tools were not of much use. After dividing the spoils, the Zhao emperor said with a smile, "In this battle, the county king and Reverend Jin Yang killed 3 golden core stage cultivators. The kingdom of Song originally only had 15 golden core stage cultivators, and we still need to leave some to oversee the kingdom of Song. I'm afraid it will be very difficult to send more golden core stage cultivators to participate in the battle of the kingdom of Zhao. Everyone, how do you think we should fight next?" Zhao Jinghua said, "With the county king and Reverend Jin Yang's concealment methods, unranked golden core stage cultivators will be easily killed. The kingdom of Song, the myriad spirit sect, and the cruel Sun Palace together will not be able to gather more than a few unranked Golden Core stage cultivators. I'm afraid they won't send more Golden Core stage cultivators to fight with us. Using unranked Golden Core stage cultivators to fight unranked Golden Core stage cultivators was the Zhao Emperor's consistent tactic after ascending the throne. Previously, when Wang Daoyuan was commanding the battle, the unranked Golden Core stage cultivators were guarding the rear and did not directly participate in the battle. The weakest of the cultivators who directly fought with the enemy was a weak third-grade cultivator like Gu Qingfeng. This was also because the Zhao clan had a strong inheritance and a deep foundation that they could gather so many unranked Golden Core stage cultivators. Although unranked Golden Core stage cultivators could contend with third-grade Golden Core stage cultivators, they could easily become expendable. In case of defeat, they were the easiest to kill. It was better to use them to guard the rear and maintain their deterrence. The Kingdom of Song and the two sects did not have enough unranked Golden Core stage cultivators. If they continued to fight, they would be continuously consumed and would soon be unable to hold on. Zhao Jingbang was also somewhat worried. Although that brat Song Yan is somewhat impetuous, he is not a fool. The Golden Core stage cultivators cannot outlast us and will definitely defend the Hidden Dragon Mountain and the Myriad Spirit Sect's mountain gates. This way, it will become a war of attrition. Our kingdom of Zhao's various industries have suffered heavy losses. Without 8 to 10 years, it will be very difficult to recover. Although the kingdom of Song is small, its industries are complete. We may not be able to outlast them. The Zhao Emperor sighed. Imperial Uncle's words are correct. When Sixth Brother swept through the various regions, apart from the Clear Glass County, the other regions suffered heavy losses. The resources in Linhai Prefecture and Green Willow Prefecture will not last for too long. If we drag on for a few more years, we will run out of resources to recover our spiritual power, spiritual sense, and heal our injuries. The County King is very resourceful. Do you have any ideas? Whether or not a Golden Core stage cultivator could recover quickly had a great impact on their overall battle strength. Wang Daoyuan pondered for a long time before replying, I have a plan, but it will be risky. The Zhao Emperor laughed. How can there be no danger on the battlefield? The County King can speak freely. This plan is mainly to deal with the Kingdom of Song. The Kingdom of Song has already revealed 5 Golden Core stage cultivators. There are only 10 Golden Core stage cultivators left in the Kingdom of Song. It is unlikely that they will leave the Kingdom of Song and come to our Kingdom of Zhao. The current Kingdom of Song and the cultivators of the 3 sects combined are not our match. Why don't we leave the unrated Golden Core stage cultivators to guard the spirit veins? The Golden Core stage cultivators of the 3rd rate and above can cross the Hidden Dragon Mountain and attack the Myriad Spirit Sect's industries that do not have grade 4 spirit veins. We can also intercept the Kingdom of Song's flying ships transporting resources. If they do not come out, we will leave them with no resources to supply. As long as they dare to show themselves, regardless of whether they come to intercept us or cut off our logistics, we can take advantage of them. We can take this opportunity to give them a ruthless blow and leave behind 1 or 2 of their Jindan stage cultivators. If this continues, let's see who will be the first to give up. Of course, the risks are not small. If Song Yan really takes a wild gamble and draws out a few more Golden Core stage cultivators from the Kingdom of Song, we may also suffer heavy losses and even lose our current advantage. Chapter 631. From Wuchang Pass to Wanling County, there were no impassable natural barriers like Hanjiang Pass. As long as the Golden Core cultivators had the advantage, they could cross Mount Fulong and stab the enemy from behind. Mount Fulong was not flawless. Nanli Mountain faced the easternmost part of Mount Fulong. There were not many spiritual mountains within 3,000 miles of Mount Fulong that could be defended. It did not affect late-stage Golden Core cultivators much. As long as the enemy was not strong enough, they could easily retreat after plundering the resources. Crossing the pass could be dealt with through attrition. However, the Golden Core cultivators of Song were not strong enough. What could they do if they did not dare to face the enemy head-on? If Song Yan really went crazy, they could transfer a few more golden core cultivators from Song to maintain their advantage over the Zhao cultivators. They could then use attrition to stall the golden core cultivators of Zhao. When the time came, the Zhao cultivators would have to sacrifice some of their cultivators to force their way out. Otherwise, they would continue to fight. However, if they continued to fight, they would not even have a place to meditate and recover their spiritual sense and spiritual power. In a few days, they would be out of combat power. Everyone in the hall fell into deep thought. If they used this method, they would be taking a huge risk. However, if they did not use this method, the enemy would not come out no matter what. They could not outlast the enemy. In the end, Emperor Zhao answered, "We can try this." Song is not having a good time. Previously, 15 golden core cultivators attacked Wucheng Pass before they left Song territory. If something happened, they could return in time. Wucheng County is very long and narrow. It is more than 50,000 miles from north to south. News from the rear cannot be transmitted in time. Once Qi, Chu, and Wu attack, they will not be able to return in time. There are too few third-rate cultivators in Song. Even if they send reinforcements, it will not be easy to keep us here. There are many things waiting to be done in Zhao. We cannot afford to waste time. I do not plan to unify the country in one battle. I only want to make Song unable to attack. Zhao's territory is much larger than Song's. In the east, we can borrow High Prefecture to obtain the resources in the sea. If we continue to fight, Song will not be able to defeat us. This decision was extremely correct. It was also what Wang Daoyuan wanted to see the most. Song only had 12 golden core cultivators left. If they did not rest for 1 or 200 years, they would not be able to recover. In 1 or 200 years, how many golden core cultivators could he produce? If he hadn't left Beiyuan Shouxian, he would have to be at least half a step into Yuanying. At that time, it would not take much effort to kill a first-rate golden core expert. No matter how much trouble they caused, no one dared to have any ideas about the Wang family. Although the people of the Zhao family were a little reckless, they were not stupid. The state of Zhao had been lost for more than 500 years, and after a series of wars, its vitality was almost depleted. Now, he was like a big guy who had just recovered from a serious illness. He might not be able to defeat a healthy little guy. It would be better to stop the battle first and wait for his body to recover before taking revenge. To put it bluntly, the war between the Zhao state and the Song state was a family affair of the Zhao family. Since the main family didn't have any objections, outsiders couldn't care less. Since Emperor Zhao did not wish to accomplish the task in one fell swoop, then it was easy to handle. Even if they did not seek to cause much damage to the Song nation, they could simply avoid fighting with the golden core cultivators. They could just bully the other party's flying ships transporting resources and manpower. If they ran away after taking advantage of the situation, it wouldn't be difficult for them to escape unscathed as long as they were in good condition. In terms of manpower, Zhao Lingyan and Wu Mingjue were overseeing Nanli Mountain. Together with the formation, they were more than enough to defend. Lord Linhai and Qianyang had to be taken away from Lanyue Mountain. Qianyang was from the Cruel Sun Palace. Now that there were also Cruel Sun Palace cultivators on the other side, they would not feel at ease leaving him behind. With Gu Qingfeng, a third-rate cultivator, and Gu Xinghai and Zhong Yaoting, it would not be a problem to defend. Emperor Zhao and the 6 people of the Zhao family, plus Wang Daoyuan, Zhong Zhenyang, Shi Zhizhong, and Qianyang, there were a total of 10 third-rate golden core cultivators and above. The Song state and the 2 sects had less than 10 late-stage golden core cultivators in total. In terms of individual strength, they were far inferior. The group of 10 people rode on a 4th-grade flying ship. They circled around the south of Mount Fulong and swaggered all the way to the Myriad Spirit sect. This greatly frightened the cultivators guarding the sect. They thought they were going to attack the mountain. In the end, the ship circled around the sect and continued west. Along the way, they destroyed any property that did not have 4th-grade formations protecting it. It was also worth a try to attack a property that had a 4th-tier low-grade array formation but did not have a golden core cultivator guarding it. Wang Daoyuan, Zhong Zhenyang, and Lord Linhai's attainments in formations were not bad. It was not difficult for them to destroy a 4th-grade formation. Wang Daoyuan released the soul-chasing bees to monitor Wuchang County in the south. As long as the Song State's flying ships transported resources, they would intercept them. In the next 20-odd days, they intercepted more than 50 flying ships. The Myriad Spirit Sect and Mount Fulong did not receive any more resources from the Song State. The Myriad Spirit Sect's territory of 1.5 counties was destroyed. More than 20 3rd-grade properties and 5 4th-grade properties were destroyed. At the eastern foot of Mount Fulong, Song Yan and the 6th prince sat side by side in a large hall. Both of them did not look too good. Everyone in the hall was also dejected. The resources at the rear could not be transported up, and many of the nearby properties were destroyed. Even if there was no war and the consumption of resources was minimal, they could not afford such a mess. The several counties in the east of the Zhao state were recovering various properties. Not only were the Song state and the 2 sects unable to recover, but they were also being destroyed. This was especially so for the Song state. Every time they were intercepted, they would lose several flying ships, hundreds of cultivators, and large amounts of resources. After a few years, the Zhao state's properties would more or less recover. Then, they would have an overall advantage over the Song state. Venerable Yulong asked, "Your Majesty, the Song Emperor, should we transfer a few golden core cultivators from the Song state over and use attrition tactics to eliminate the Zhao clan's golden core cultivators?" The 6th prince also revealed a yearning expression as he looked at his nephew and son-in-law. Once the Song state lost, the Song emperor could leave and still preserve the Song state. However, the 6th prince's reign would come to an end. It would be good if he could keep his life. The Song emperor shook his head. The other side has too many golden core cultivators. If we want to gain a huge advantage, we will need at least 7 or 8 late-stage golden core cultivators. This way, the Song state will be empty. The Qi state, Chu state, and Wu state might take advantage of the situation. Furthermore, that vile spawn Wang Daoyuan's concealment methods are too strong. If he did not take the initiative to attack, I would not be able to detect him. His strength is about the same as Venerable Xuanming's, and his offensive methods are extremely strong. If he sneak attacks a golden core cultivator, he can kill them in one strike. Even if we win, the Song state's golden core cultivators will be wiped out. Furthermore, we might not be able to kill many of them. If we continue fighting like this, it will be too much of a loss. Let's seek peace. I will do my best to protect my father-in-law. The moment Venerable Xianming said that, the Song nation's golden core cultivator who narrowly escaped death relaxed. That Venerable Xianming had personally seen Wang Daoyuan behead his companion with one strike. If that Venerable Xianming had to face Wang Daoyuan again, it would be no different from sending him to his death. Venerable Yulong showed an unsightly expression. His side was at a disadvantage. If he wanted peace, he would have to sacrifice many benefits. Would the Song state sacrifice its own benefits? That was absolutely impossible. The 6th prince and the cruel Sun Palace did not even have an inch of territory. What benefits could they sacrifice? In the end, wouldn't the 10,000 spirit sect have to bleed? However, Venerable Yulong did not dare to say anything. If he angered the Song emperor would return to the Song nation and ignore this matter. If that happened, the 10,000 spirit sect would not just be sacrificing its benefits. Emperor Zhao might even kill it. The cruel Sun Palace's venerable earth flame showed an indifferent expression. He had nothing to lose, so he was not afraid. He had already lost his sect. If he ran over to the 10,000 spirit sect to be a grandson, he would just flee to the Song nation. In any case, he would be a grandson. There was no difference. The 6th prince was extremely unwilling. However, he did not dare to say anything. He only had the empty title of emperor. He did not have a single golden core cultivator under him. With the Song Emperor's promise, the Song Emperor would not hand him over. Even if he could not become emperor, he could still go to the Song nation and become a father-in-law. At the very least, he would not lose his life. No one objected. Song Yan continued, since no one has any objections, let's do it this way. I will send someone to ask Emperor Zhao for peace. Chapter 632. A Zifu disciple flew towards Nanli Mountain from the eastern foot of Mount Fulong. Outside the Grand Array, he shouted, Senior Zhao clan, who is guarding Nanli Mountain, I have something to discuss with you on Emperor Song's orders. Senior, please let me in. Zhao Lingyan did not let him in. Instead, he sent a Zifu disciple of the Zhao clan to talk with him outside the formation. Emperor Zhao was leading Wang Daoyuan and the others to intercept several flying ships at the border between Myriad Spirits County and Wuxia County. Suddenly, he received a message that Song Yan wanted to negotiate. After taking down several flying ships, he took all the resources and left no one behind. Emperor Zhao took out a jade talisman and asked, Song Yan sent people to Nanli Mountain to negotiate. What do you think? It was not appropriate for outsiders to express their opinions on such a major matter. Wang Daoyuan and the others remained silent. Zhao Jinghua laughed. It seems our methods worked. We didn't waste the past 20 days. It seems Song Yan has been hurt. In my opinion, let's negotiate first. We've taken quite a lot of resources in the past 20 days. We can go back and rest. If the negotiations fail, we can come back again. Otherwise, Song Yan might send a few more golden core cultivators to fight with us. The small mountains south of Mount Fulong aren't much of an obstacle to us. Since the Zhao clan had spoken, the others naturally followed suit. After all, killing behind enemy lines was like putting one's life on the line. No one wanted to keep doing this. Since no one had any objections, Emperor Zhao agreed. The group boarded the flying warship and returned to Nanli Mountain. After several rounds of Zifu disciple contact, both sides agreed to negotiate. The location of the negotiation was on a small mountain without a spirit vein between Nanli Mountain and Mount Fulong. Emperor Zhao sent Zhao Jinghua, Zhao Jingbang, Wang Daoyuan, and Shi Zhizhong for golden core cultivators to participate in the negotiation. The state of Song sent its last remaining golden core cultivator, Adept Yulong, Adept Xianming, and Adept Earth Flame. Everyone arrived at the small mountain. On a flat area halfway up the mountain, tables and chairs were already set up. Both sides sat down. Adept Yulong said, Emperor Song and His Majesty mean that the north and south emperors of the state of Zhao will rule across the river. The north of the Wanchuan River belongs to the North Arch, and the south to the South Arch. Shi Zhizhong smiled and said, Our emperor's intentions are clear. The Song nation will withdraw from the Zhao nation's territory. The traitor Zhao Lingtian and the traitors of the Thousand Spirits sect and the Cruel Sun Palace had all come to the Southly Peak to receive their deaths. Since our differences are so great, there's no need for us to talk anymore. Anyway, the backyard of the state of Zhao won't be on fire. Let's see how long Qi, Chu, and Wu can endure. If someone were to perish, it would be the Song kingdom that would perish first. Our Zhao kingdom still has some time to prepare. As soon as he said that, the Jindan cultivator from the kingdom of Song lost his cool and said hurriedly, Dao Yu, calm down. It's inevitable that there will be differences in peace talks. We can discuss the terms slowly. Both countries had been through war for a long time and had suffered great losses. If we continue to fight, no one will benefit. Instead, Qi, Chu, and Wu will take advantage of us. Wang Daoyuan smiled contemptuously, there's no problem in continuing to fight, I just want to kill all the cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace to avenge the old ancestor. After the Qi, Chu, and Wu kingdoms finished fighting the Song kingdom, they should rest, right? It wasn't as if they didn't have any conflicts, so it was impossible for them to continue working together. After destroying the Song kingdom, they will fight because they can't divide the spoils equally. If we continue to fight, the Song kingdom will definitely perish, but the same can't be said for the Zhao kingdom. Daoist Earthflame's expression changed slightly, but he didn't dare to say anything because he didn't have any territory. The more the Zhao kingdom acted like they didn't care, the more the Song kingdom felt uncertain. Daoist Xianming smiled apologetically. Dao Yu, calm down. We don't want both sides to suffer losses. Since neither side can accept the other's terms, let's each take a step back. The two emperors are equal. The South Emperor only wants Jinan County, Wanling County, and Wucheng County. What do you think? Zhao Jinghua stood up and clapped his hands. Why don't we go back? From what they said, we seem to have lost and have to give up the territories we took. I don't think we should just admit defeat. We should continue fighting. The Song Kingdom's resources are really good. Let's snatch some back. The Jindan cultivator from the Song Kingdom spoke again. Everyone, don't be anxious. We can discuss the terms slowly. If it really doesn't work, we can remove the title of South Emperor and demote him to prince. However, we can't give up any more territories. To the Song Kingdom, the sixth prince's identity was not important. Territory was the most important thing. Zhao Jingbang snorted coldly and said, if you want territory, sure. However, if you have the ability to fight, that will be the territory of that evil creature. If you don't have the ability to take it down, why are you talking nonsense to this great me? If you can't get it on the battlefield, do you think you can get it with your mouth? The Jindan cultivator from the Song Kingdom answered, there are too many differences in the issue of territory. Let's put it aside for now. The sixth prince can remove his title. As a feudal lord of the Song Kingdom, the territories north of Wucheng Pass will be his conferred land. What do you all think? After holding it in for a long time, this fellow finally revealed his true motive. He wanted to turn the Zhao Kingdom's territory into the Song Kingdom's. Zhao Jinghua slammed the table and stood up. The Zhao Kingdom will not give up an inch of land. Even Wucheng Pass belongs to my Zhao Kingdom. Your agreement with the three sex traders has nothing to do with my Zhao clan. If your Song Kingdom dares to take an inch of my Zhao Kingdom's land, we will take down the Song capital at all costs, slaughtering the entire Song clan. My Zhao clan will not hesitate to be exterminated. Zhao Jinghua was an official of the Zhao Kingdom and could be considered the Zhao clan's clan head. His words basically represented the Zhao clan and the Zhao Emperor's wishes. Everyone knew what the Zhao clan was like. Once they were enraged, they would not rest until they defeated their opponent. Back then, the Zhao clan was angered by the Wei Kingdom and attacked the Wei Kingdom along with the mediator, the Zhou Kingdom. They even took over an entire county. If the Zhou Kingdom could not suppress the Zhao clan, the Song Kingdom's strength would not be enough. Since the two sides could not come to an agreement, the negotiators did not have the right to make more concessions. They could only find another day to negotiate. 3 days later, the two sides negotiated again. The Song Kingdom's golden core cultivators were easy to negotiate with. They immediately said, our emperor agrees that the sixth prince can be the feudal lord of the Zhao Kingdom. Wucheng County, Myriad Spirit County, and Jinan County will be the sixth prince's conferred lands. However, Wucheng Pass will belong to my Song Kingdom. Wang Daoyuan smiled at Zhao Jinghua and the others. I told you. There is no need to continue negotiating. Without killing Song Yan, there is no point in negotiating. If we kill a few more golden core cultivators, they will know how to speak. Zhao Jinghua and the others also pretended to stand up and leave. Venerable Xianming quickly dissuaded them. After the previous negotiation, the differences between the two sides are much smaller. We can continue negotiating. If the Zhao Kingdom has any requests, you can state them. Zhao Jingbang showed an indifferent expression. His Majesty's meaning is very simple. The Zhao Kingdom will not give up an inch of its territory. Wucheng Pass must belong to the Zhao Kingdom. That evil creature Zhao Lingtian can be the feudal lord. However, the conferred lands will be limited to the Zhao Kingdom's territory that you currently control. We will not give up any more. The Song Kingdom's golden core cultivators did not hesitate and directly answered, we agree to the Zhao Kingdom's request. The moment they said that, the 4 golden core cultivators on the Zhao kingdom side were stunned. Why did they agree so readily? Wang Daoyuan quickly reacted. It might be that the Song kingdom's backyard was on fire. However, since he already said it, it would not be good to change his mind. If he angered Song Yan, this rash person might really do something like perish together with the Zhao kingdom. Moreover, if the Song kingdom was destroyed, the Zhao kingdom would have to face the Qi, Chu, and Wu kingdoms directly. It would be extremely disadvantageous for the Zhao kingdom. It was better to let the Song kingdom have a certain level of self-protection and act as a shield for the Zhao kingdom. The Song kingdom, the Thousand Spirit sect, and the Cruel Sun Palace could not make any more concessions. Afterwards, the two sides discussed various details. One day later, the Zhao kingdom and Song Yan signed the peace treaty. On the same day, the 6th prince announced his abdication and the Zhao kingdom conferred him the title of Jinan Prince. It had been exactly 29 days since the 6th prince announced his abdication. It was 1 day away from a full month. When the 6th prince was conferred the title, Wang Daoyuan mocked, "The emperor is not even a full month old. He is the first in history." The other golden core cultivators of the Zhao kingdom also mocked him. Although the 6th prince was timid, his skin was thick. Even after being mocked like this, his expression did not change. Chapter 633. Both sides reached an agreement and Song withdrew its troops. Emperor Zhao left Zhao Lingyan and Zhao Lingshu behind to guard Lanyue Mountain and Nanli Mountain. The others returned to Three River Market and prepared to reward them according to their contributions. Although Zhao had not been unified, only 1.5 counties had not been recovered from the 13 counties of the past. Moreover, the owner of the remaining half county was still the Zhao family in name. On the surface, the Zhao family had completed the great task of restoring the country. Since they had completed the great task of restoring the country, they naturally had to reward the meritorious officials. The former capital of Zhao was north of Wanchuan River and 2,000 kilometers northwest of Three River Market. It was called Longyu Plain. It belonged to Three River County and was close to Guanyuan County, which had the most spiritual fields, spiritual herbs, and spiritual grains in Zhao. Longyu Plain had a circumference of 1,000 kilometers and was surrounded by mountains. There were also 3 high-grade 4th-grade spiritual veins and many rivers around it. It was an excellent place to build the capital. Longyu City in the past had a circumference of 800 kilometers and was the largest city in Zhao. However, when the 3 sects rebelled, they razed Longyu City to the ground. Now, not even the ruins were left in Longyu Plain. Zhao had not been truly unified and that scum, the 6th prince, still occupied the southwest. If Emperor Zhao wanted to show his legitimate status, it was best to build the capital in its original place. Zhao had many things to do and was unable to build such a large city in a short time. Emperor Zhao decided to make do with what was available and temporarily set up the capital at Three River Market Square. When Zhao recovered from the chaos of war, he would rebuild Longyu City. Three River Market was not far from Longyu Plain, so it would be convenient to move the capital in the future. Naturally, the meritorious officials would be rewarded in Three River Market. The original Three River Market's guardian mansion became Emperor Zhao's temporary residence. All the Golden Core cultivators who participated in the war came to the guardian mansion. Even the Golden Core cultivators who died in Linhai Prefecture were present. Although they had died in battle for the 6th prince, they were nominally for Zhao family. During the Three River Market's battle, many cultivators of the 3 sects were killed. These Golden Core cultivators who died in battle also contributed. The Guardian Mansion's meeting hall was transformed into a court hall. Emperor Zhao sat high on the main seat while Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Jingbang, the 2 elders, stood on either side. Below him, Zhao family members and foreign cultivators stood on 2 sides. The Zhao family was in the east, headed by Lord Linhai. In the west, Wang Daoyuan was the leader. Emperor Zhao opened his mouth and said, "This time, in sweeping away the rebels, all of you have contributed greatly. Duke Qingli was the one who contributed the most. He had cut off the Yin Qi of the underworld sect and depleted the strength of the 3 sects in the mysterious 9 underworld crystal mine. He had killed many powerful enemies. In the end, they forced the underworld sect to surrender and recruited several experts such as Immortal Zhenyang for the imperial court. Only then did the emperor's army gain the absolute upper hand. After settling the cruel Sun Palace, he led his troops down south and took over half of Wanling County. After that, in Nanli Mountain, he joined forces with Immortal Zhenyang to kill 3 Golden Core realm cultivators from the Song Kingdom. In the end, he proposed the strategy of cutting off the enemy's retreat, forcing the Song nation to seek peace. Without the county king, even if they could restore the country, they would suffer heavy losses. The promise that he had made to the county king would be fulfilled immediately. In addition, the north of the mountain was in chaos and needed experts to guard it. The prefecture king was extremely powerful and Qingli prefecture was adjacent to the north of the mountain. This heavy responsibility could only be handed to the prefecture king. From now on, everything in the northern part of the mountain will be decided by the duke. The highest surname outside of the Zhao kingdom could only be conferred the title of county king. At this stage, Wang Daoyuan could no longer be conferred the title of duke. Handing the heavy responsibility of guarding the north of the mountain to him was actually giving him more land. In the past, the Zhao kingdom had taken over a large territory in the north of the mountain. Many of the Zhao kingdom's soldiers had established their families in the north of the mountain. Later, when the 3 sects rebelled, these families lost their support and gradually declined. Now, there were still many small families and sects remaining. The Guiyuan sword sect was the largest among them. When these small forces were combined, they were still very impressive. The Zhao kingdom's strategy was not bad. In the future, the Zhao kingdom's national policy would be to recuperate. After that, they would deal with the remaining forces of the Wanling sect and cruel Sun Palace. In the next few hundred years, they would not be able to send troops to the north of the mountain. After the massacre in the north of the mountain, the war between the demons and half-demons had eased a little. However, it was still ongoing and there was still a risk of it becoming bigger. If those small human forces did not have anyone to support them, they would be destroyed sooner or later. Rather than watch them be destroyed, it was better to hand them over to Wang Daoyuan. The expansion of the Qingli commandery to the north was beneficial to the entire human race. The Zhao kingdom's previous rulers had never been careless about the greater good of the human race. After that, it was time to reward the members of the Zhao kingdom. Although the Duke of Linhai did not participate in the battle much, he made a lot of contributions by contacting various parties. His title was already the highest in the Zhao kingdom and there was no room for more titles. He could only be given land in the Linchuan commandery. Zhao Jinghua fought the most. Although he did not kill a strong enemy, he always blocked the enemy's strongest cultivator and acted as a stabilizing force. He was a duke before, and the title of a duke could not be given easily. Thus, he was given the hereditary title of Duke of Anghua. The original title of Duke of Anghua was attached to Zhong Jingqing and could not be passed down to the younger generation. As for the other members of the Zhao family, they were all given the title of Marquis. Gu Qingfeng contributed the most to the Linhai prefecture families. Although he did not kill a strong enemy, he fought from the beginning to the end and was given the title of Marquis. The land given to him was the Gu family's original land in Linhai Prefecture and another piece of land in the Linchuan Commandery. The other Linhai Prefecture families with Golden Core cultivators who participated in the battle were all given the title of Count and a piece of land in the Linchuan Commandery. Heangshi clan, Linchuanshan clan, and Hanjiang Wei clan, the remaining old aristocrats, regained their titles and lands and gained some land and autonomy. Finally, there were the defected cultivators of the Netherworld sect and the Savage Sun Palace. The Zhao Emperor said, "You defected cultivators of the Netherworld sect and the Savage Sun Palace and committed a heinous crime. However, you have repented and made great contributions. Your previous crimes will be forgiven and the promised titles are still in effect." Xinjiang Daoist made great contributions in the battle against the Song Kingdom cultivators and was given the title of Marquis. Do you have any objections? Zhong Zhenyang and Xian Yang looked at Wang Daoyuan, hinting for him to help say a few good words. Since he had received benefits from others, he couldn't just leave them be. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, "Reporting to your majesty, although Zhong Zhenyang and Qian Yang have abandoned the dark side and joined the light side, they still committed a great crime. If they are placed on the same level as us cultivators who have always been loyal to the Zhao clan, we will not accept it. In my opinion, it would be better to give them a piece of land in the bitter cold north of the mountain as punishment." Once these words were spoken, the cultivators of the Zhao clan naturally had no objections. These defected cultivators were all enemies. Even if they could not be killed, they could not be let off easily. Putting them in the bitter cold north of the mountain to suffer was the most suitable. The old nobles and the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture also agreed. They had always been loyal to the Zhao clan, but they were placed on the same level as the defected enemies. They would only feel comfortable if they were placed on a lower level. Zhong Zhenyang and the others also had no objections. They had paid a great price for this. This way, they could take care of the majority of people, so the Zhao emperor naturally had no objections. The duke's words are reasonable. In that case, the defected cultivators of the Netherworld sect and the Savage Sun Palace will be given a piece of land in the northern part of the mountain. Zhong Zhenyang and the others thanked the Zhao emperor in unison. There were not many people left in charge of etiquette in Zhao state, so their titles had not been decided yet. After rewarding everyone, the Zhao emperor smiled and said, "The junior of the duke's clan, Wang Mingshan, has an outstanding innate talent. I have a few granddaughters. Qingshuan's third daughter, Yu Miao, is more than 130 years old, about the same age as Wang Mingshan. Her cultivation base is at the middle stage of Zifu realm, and she may be able to form her gold core in the future. What do you think, Duke, about betrothing Yuing to Wang Mingshan?" Wang Daoyuan naturally had no objection to the matter that had been discussed before. Zhao Qingxian was the crown prince, and his daughter would be the princess in the future. Wang Daoyuan quickly cupped his fists and said, "It is Mingshan's good fortune to be able to marry the crown prince's daughter." The Zhao emperor nodded and said, "It's good that the duke agrees. This time, we were able to seize the Cold River Pass in time and block Wei State's road to the east, thanks to the backup plan left by my eldest imperial brother. My eldest imperial brother was supposed to inherit the throne, but he died in the hands of traitors. Fortunately, the Wang clan protected his eldest grandson, Zhao Liang. Now that Zhao Liang has married into the Wang clan, I won't force him. But, Zhao Liang has many descendants. Is it possible for one of them to return to the clan and continue eldest imperial brother's line?" You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.